It's been a note-perfect 2 days to start this tour for Australia, racking up their highest ever score in Asia, a massive 6 for 654 declared. The personal milestones followed thick and fast across 5.5 sessions. On any other day, Usman Khawaja's maiden test double at age 38, some 14 years after his debut, would be the only headline news. His 232 was as good as it gets in terms of working a spin attack into the ground. But then came Josh Inglis. Sure, 401 were already on the board when he walked out, but from the moment he whipped his first ball for 4, he looked apart and duly made his way onto a sacred list in Australian cricket, joining 20 others with a century on Test debut. With that first job done, it was time to go to work with the ball, and 3 wickets in a hurry capped the day a treat. That one of those came in Matt Kuhneman's first over back in Test cricket, and another through a spectacular close catch from Travis Head added to the sense of overall domination. From here, on a hot morning, Steve Smith's men will be striving to be just as ruthless. I'm Adam Collins, and with me to begin our coverage up in our greenhouse on the roof of the pavilion at Gall Stadium is former Aussie and Victorian leggy Bryce McGain, and our favourite vagabond journalist, Peter Lawler from Cricket at Our Gents. Morning to you, Bryce. You've been down there. So have you, Pete. So have I. Goodness me. I think it's 33 degrees, it says on our phones. It doesn't feel like 33, does it?
Feels like 53.
It is ridiculous how hot it is out there. It's not going to be easy. Hello, Bryce.
Collar, you're spot on, and good morning, Peter, and to all our listeners right across the country. And yeah, it is a furnace out in the middle, I can assure you. The pitch is certainly progressing. We're into day 3, and there's some cracks appearing on the main surface.
Yep.
There's certainly some dusting up and some footmarks appearing closer to the stumps at each end. But no, out there, just a very casual warm-up from the Australians, as they just rolled the arm over, if you like, at their side of the ground. And the Sri Lankans are a bit more vigorous as they played their volleyball soccer, which, yeah, I think the Australians were looking at them going, you've got to be kidding yourselves, because it is really hot and sticky. It's a real furnace.
It's a reminder, isn't it, that when Australia have Mitchell Starc, he does create those footmarks. With Sri Lanka, in the absence of a seamer doing any real work, there's not been a lot left on the pitch to this point, has there, Pete?
No, there hasn't been anything at all. On the heat, I think it's a yin and a yang with the heat. It's going to be really, really awful out there today for the fielders and the bowlers, but it's going to be fantastic for what it does to that pitch, Bryce.
Yeah, it'll progress the wicket, as we love to see in this in the venue, Peter, and you know, that's the exciting part. We're going to see some good spin bowling. And that's not to say that Mitchell Starc is going to be out of the game, because he'll be charging in. His pace was up, and there was some genuine carry last night. It was really exciting, and a terrific catch. He got a wicket, of course, but McSweeney in the gully took a really sharp catch.
I've become an enormous fan of Mitchell Starc. I admire his stoicism. I said to him, I bumped into him at North Sydney Oval at the women's match, and I said, mate, you're going to Sri Lanka. God, you're here. He said, well, someone's got to go, don't they, mate? And he loves being the last man standing from that seamer pack, you know, that soft pack Cummins and Hazelwood, and, you know, he's going to do the work. And, yeah, you're right. I think what he's going to do with the ball himself could be very exciting, but I'm also interested in what his feet are going to do. Do you reckon he puts the long stops on today?
Well, he did look a few centimetres taller than when I was out there, Peter. Yeah. He looked nice and tall with the extra spikes under there. But look, he'll just do what he does, and it's not anything untoward. And Steve Smith was out there and he's actually talking to umpire Wilson, and who's a third umpire, watching how people interact with the pitch beforehand, and just said, oh, well, Starkey will come from here, and, well, things will get churned up, and you're allowed to do that. Like, it's just part of the game. It's not untoward. It's just part of his follow-through. It won't be in the danger area, but it does play into the hands of Nathan Lyon, who'll be bowling from the opposite end to him.
Bit of an abstract point, but it reinforces the importance of Australia replacing Mitch Starc with another left-arm quick at some point. I mean, I know that sounds like something that might be
great point,
a little bit away from what we're thinking about right now, but that's where, like, the Spencer Johnson story is an important one in Australian cricket, because how the benefit that Starc has brought by being able to provide that set of footmarks for not just line, but primarily line over the journey has been such a significant thing, Bryce.
Yeah, and I think strategically, the dismissal of Matthews last night, which was a ripping catch by Travis heading close, was think of David Boone, who went low for the hat-trick catch off Shane Warne. He went high and up to the top right hand, and it was a full body length dive off line. Line was around the wicket and wanted to feed those players, but as soon as he went over, it was a more attacking line. And not to say those footmarks meant anything, but it just turned and bounced, and Lyon's going to be a real handful because he drags the batsman forward and lunging forward with the ball above eye level and dropping down. So, and Stark will play an important role, as you say, not only with the ball in hand, but with Peter, his feet underneath.
Everyone I'm running into this morning, all the Australian supporters are asking one question: will they enforce the follow-on? You're the king of strategy, Colo. What do you reckon?
I can imagine almost no scenario where they'll enforce the follow-on. I mean, just thinking about where they're positioned in this Test match, the ability to put as much pressure and as many overs into Sri Lanka as they wish. No major sort of days being washed out in the next two or anything like that coming. I think it'll be more like if they rolled them cheaply. I'll paint a scenario for you that I've been more interested in than that.
Paint us a picture, Colo.
I'll give you one. They go through them in a session here, inside an hour. Let's give them inside an hour. Let's say they roll through Sri Lanka and it's a catastrophe for the home side, all at 100, right? Australia bat again for a session and a half just to break things up and give themselves a couple of hours off before going again, which is what I think they would do.
Yeah.
They could end up with a lead of somewhere, if they really went for it, a lead somewhere up around sort of 750 to 800. And then they'd have a little bit of room to work with to knock over Sri Lanka and win by the highest margin ever, which is 654 runs. Back in 1928.
Well,
I think that's more likely than enforcing the follow-on.
I think we think of those stats. I can guarantee you.
No,
Andrew McDonald
not in a million years. But of course they would. But I'm saying that the way the match play might allow something like that where they bat until an hour before stumps today. Of course, by the way, Sri Lanka do enjoy a very experienced lower middle order. Danish Chandimal's still there. Yes, he was under the pump last night against Nathan Lyon, but a guy with a double ton on this ground against Australia last time they met. Kimindu Mendes, who's the quickest to 1,000 runs since Bradman got there. I mean, he's batting with him at the moment. This is the type of quality that Australia are going to be confronting immediately this morning. So, yeah, we can get a bit carried away thinking about what might happen in 7 wickets' time, but the reality is, in the heat, this will be tough work this morning.
Yeah, it will be, and they're fine players, and that's what I'm really looking forward to, is a bit of resolve from Sri Lanka. That it's always an awkward session as you head towards stumps, and it's always in favour of the bowling group, and there's not a lot to play for other than your wicket, of course, but I'm really looking forward to them showing some resolve this morning.
I don't want to cut a Russell, Jane Bunn, Arnold's grass here, fellas, but there is a bit of cloud cover coming in, so it might be the best of all circumstances in that the sun has done a lot of damage already, and to the wicket, it might cool down a little bit. I hope it does for them.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, God, I walked 20 minutes to the ground this morning. I thought I was going to die. I was going to call for an ambulance. Just imagine bowling.
You should have called for a tuk-tuk. That's what you should have done.
Do you know who would have had a spring in their step on the way to the ground today? Josh Inglis's family.
Oh, gosh, yeah. What a great
amazing
story.
Scenes they were with his dad up against the glass. Bharat's written a beautiful piece on Crick Buzz. He was watching them closely in the watching area yesterday from just away from us here. Yeah. And look, it's a great story, full stop, that he's been able to make it to the Test team, having spent the first 14 years of his life in the UK, over from Yorkshire, so on and so forth. But to get his opportunity here and to grasp it the way that he did, to look so at home. The comment that he made to me when interviewing him last night, he's like, yeah, I know it's my Test debut, but it didn't feel as big a deal because I'm so established in the white ball teams. So I think that's a significant part of this story, isn't it? That they've played the game well with Inglis. They've got him at the right time.
It's a wonderful story because you've just had to wait so long for it to come.
Yeah.
You know, we all love the teenager, you know, the 19-year-old who drags his umbilical cord out to the middle of the bat first time.
Yes.
But with this guy, he's 29, he's about to turn 30. Everyone's loved him from the get-go. You know, Jeff Marsh sort of identified him very early on when he landed in Western Australia, and Jeff Marsh is a really good judge of cricket flesh, you know, having sort of coached all around the world and played a lot of cricket himself. Brettig has written a piece, Daniel Brettig, in the Fairfax papers this morning, quoting Warney on him, and he, that was only 4 or 5 years ago. And then, he's been the caboose on the Australian team. He's been unable to get out on the field. It's been such a long wait. You sort of understood his father's emotion contrasting with Josh being sort of relaxed around the group. But it was a great thing. It must be like waiting that, in fact, a bit similar to my life, waiting that long to lose your virginity. It's really spectacular when it comes around. I mean, it's good if it happens at 16, but at 29, that's the shot that's heard around the world,
Always a way of finding a new angle on these things, Pete. Well, look, Inglis now. I know that they were talking about it on the new ball with Baz and Tom about where his career might go, but if you've strummed 100 on debut, you're getting more opportunities, right? I mean, I know that there are sorry stories in Australian cricket. Curtis Patterson's one that jumps out. He didn't get another opportunity having made a ton. But obviously Inglis plays throughout the rest of this series. But, then there's the World Test Championship final, and that'll be a very good selection headache for Australia, because they'll have the ability to pick a guy like Inglis, who has played very well for Australia when it mattered in a World Cup in 2023, that semi-final, that crucial run chase, the way he played against Sri Lanka in that World Cup as well. He's been captain of the white ball teams in the United Kingdom, so there'll be an option to go to him in England or not, and that's fine. But the point is that that'll be extra depth that every team really wants, don't they?
Yeah, it is. And I think also it provides a different selection quandary. You would need to have a specialist opening bat. They won't have Travis Head opening in that match. No. That will not be the case. He is Australia's most important batter. Maybe not our best. Steve Smith is probably our best, and his figures through social media at the moment aligning so closely to Sachin Tendulkar. It's unbelievable. And how privileged are we to be living in this lifetime with those two and seeing them all the way through their careers. But he gives a different quandary where you can pick the best 6 batters, and maybe that might be you don't need the extra all-round support of Bo Webster. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're trusting your 3 quicks and spin of Nathan Lyon, and you go back to that sort of scenario and bring in the best opener who's been able to perform. And there are some Shield games to come that they'll come into factor. There's no doubt about it. Performance is what they're looking for, and it was a perfect selection. It was a perfect storm for Josh Inglis on debut to come here and just show the world at international test level that I've got a spin batting game that is world class, and he's been doing that across Australia in Australian conditions. Very different, I get it, but every spinner around the country hasn't solved the problem of Josh Inglis, and he was able to then perform out here on debut. Now that takes a lot of courage, and enormous credit to him to do that.
It really got to salute the selection panel and the coaching staff and the way they have planned for this. I talked to Andrew McDonald out the back sometime the last couple of days about the way the bowlers got through the summer, like Stark got through the summer, and what's the other bloke's name? Cummins. He said, mate, we worked on that for a year. That was a 12-month project to see if we could get those bowlers through 5 test matches. It didn't quite work with Josh Hazlewood, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf used to sing. They're planning around this match, having Inglis, bringing him in, getting the spinners right. Just everything that they've done recently has been fantastic. And hey, everyone had the sticks out after Perth, but let's start throwing some confetti or whatever you throw when you're happy. That's a wedding, isn't it? I'm lost. What's up, Paulo?
No, you're right that the selectors deserve plenty of credit for the way they have performed in recent times. I'm going to have to leave it there, Bryce, as well. SEN Test Cricket for the Henley Mainview Collection prizes your bank will love and your friends will envy. We need to take a break because we're nearing up on the first ball of this third day here at Galle, where Sri Lanka will resume at 3 for 44, some 610 runs behind. Back in a moment.
Follow SEN Cricket on Instagram, X and TikTok for all the behind-the-scenes action from Sri Lanka. Live from Galle, this is the first test between Sri Lanka and Australia on SEN Test Cricket.
Bonnie Rick Heights, look out for a two-car crash eastbound on Elizabeth Drive at Stevella Place, causing heavy congestion. In Homebush, look out for a two-car crash southbound on Underwood Road at Australia Avenue. Join over 2 million Aussies who've lost weight with the Man Shake. And there's never been a better time with up to 25% off site-wide. Start now at themanshake.com.au. And Matty Johns is back for Morning Glory from Friday, February 7, right here on SEN 1170 AM.
Mojo Home's summer sale is on now. For a limited time, build a new Mojo Home and get $65,000 off. Plus, the coolest free upgrades for your new home. T's and C's apply.
Have your say on Sydney's home of sport. Call 1300 01 1170.
When you swim for sick kids, Australia cheers you on. Be a Starlight Super Swim hero this February and join the challenge at superswim.org.au.
The SEN 1170 AM text line 0457 736 736.
Did you know that Cobram Estate extra virgin olive oil supports heart health when consuming 2 or more 15ml serves per day as part of a balanced diet? Cobram Estate, premium quality, great tasting, and the most awarded Australian extra virgin olive oil.
Step up to the next generation of professional power with Makita XGT 40 volt and 80 volt max. Experience premium professional power with cordless convenience that's setting new benchmarks in performance and efficiency. With limitless professional power, reliability and runtime, XGT simply outpowers, outsmarts and outlasts the rest. When power means business, choose Makita XGT. It's power without limits.
I want my Makita back.
Why do active traders choose IG Online Trading? Because they want more. More insight from experienced market analysts. More flexibility for trading on the go. More live info, more simplicity, more human support, and more markets. IG has thousands. So why do active traders choose IG Online Trading? Because IG gives you more. Search more from IG. Trading involves risk to your capital. IG Australia Proprietary Limited, AFSL 515106.
Through 100 years, New Farm has gone through thick and thin with Australian farmers. Through protection, through innovation, through growth. All so that Australian farmers are there for Australia. Because when you choose New Farm's crop protection solutions, you choose to support Australian jobs, Australian innovation, and a strong Australian supply chain. Through our partnership, we're tougher together. Visit newfarm.com.au. New Farm, Australian through and through.
With over 350 locations Australia-wide, Metro Petroleum is the perfect place to rest and refuel on your journey. They've teamed up with Mr. Whippy and launched brand new Mr. Whippy ice cream cups in vanilla bean and chocolate flavours. Thirsty? Simply scan the QR code after purchasing any 2 600ml Powerade varieties for only $7.50 during February for your chance to instantly win one of 25 $200 active vouchers. So fill up and treat yourself and your Valentine this February at Metro Petroleum.
Did you know that coal like that mined by Glencore, great shot, Alex! That's my son, Daddy, helps make the cement and steel used to build our local cricket clubhouses? Bowler runs in. Ooh! Bouncer. You'd be surprised the ways that coal, metals and minerals like those mined by Glencore help make our way of life possible.
6! Yes, Alex! Ha!
Glencore Mining, advancing everyday life.
SEN is always your number one home for everything in sport. Miss something or just want to hear it again? Catch up on the SEN app and discover podcasts of all your favourite shows and interviews. Download the SEN app and listen back today.
Follow SEN Cricket on Instagram, X and TikTok for all the behind-the-scenes action from Sri Lanka. Live from Galle, this is the first test between Sri Lanka and Australia on SEN Test Cricket. The first session for Crown. All the action, it's happening at Crown.
SEN Test Cricket for Henley Holmes. We're readying ourselves for day 3 here at Galle, where Sri Lanka are 3 for 44. They lost 3 wickets in a brief session last night before rain stopped play after 15 overs. They lost Ashada Fernando, leg before wicket to Matt Kuhneman for 7. Dimit Karunaratne and was caught in the gully by McSweeney, an excellent juggled catch from the bowling of Stark, also for 7. To round out that pattern, Angelo Matthews was out for 7 as well. Caught by Travis Head round the corner, excellent bat-pat catch from the bowling of Lyon. At that point they were 3 for 30, and this pair have put on 14. That's Danish Chandimali's on 9, and Kimindu Mendes, who's on 13. The latter, who's enjoyed an unbelievable record at this ground in Test cricket full stop since arriving on the scene. He played his first Test match against Australia back in 2022, had to wait a couple of years for his next opportunity, but had a 2024 that saw him acknowledged as the ICC Emerging Player of the Year. He was in the ICC Test Team of the Year. And quite outstanding throughout. He'll be facing the first ball of day 3, which will be sent down by Nathan Lyon. The batters just making their way to the crease to take guard now. I have Bryce McGain with me for the first passage of play. Morning again, Bryce.
Good morning, Colo, and a very, very hot morning here. The sun is baking down, and, well, Nathan Lyon, I've just had a look at the highlights. They showed them up on the big screen of Nathan Lyon's debut performance here. Full head of hair, jumping around, full of energy. Same energy, different haircut now. But he will be opening the bowling from the northern end.
What I looked at was he had the little shark tooth necklace at the time, didn't he? Did you get around with one of them as well, Bryce, where I recall?
I did have a necklace there for a while. What spinner didn't? Well, taught by the best.
So Nathan Lyon, who knows his ground so well, 5th Test match here. Going all the way back to, as you say, his debut in 2011, averaging mid-20s, couple of fifers, that fifer on debut, and then 5 for 90 here in 2022, a 9-wicket match to be the best of the Australian bowlers in the first Test victory. He'll start day 3 here. Nathan Lyon, 2 slips, short leg as well. Bowls to Kimindu round the wicket, who plays back and deflects past Bo Webster, who's wearing the baggy green on top of the white-brimmed hat. So I assume that's Nathan Lyon's baggy. Oh, it might be Alex Carey's baggy green, actually.
Yeah, I think so with... I'd suspect Mitchell Starc will open from the other end.
You'd think so, yeah. So line up bowls here. It's again back of a length and worked into the onside by Kimindu. First run of day 3, a single to mid-wicket. Kuhnemann does the fielding, 3 for 45.
Yeah, the gap at mid-wicket there is for more of a front foot, across the line type shot, but good footwork immediately to get back deep in the crease and just tuck it away, beat the short leg and get an easy single.
What's a little bit lost in the Lions Sri Lanka story is just how close it all came to unravelling for him in 2016 on his second tour here, where his overall numbers looked fine. He took his wickets at 32 on that trip, but Australia lost 3-0 and they were in commanding positions thanks to Mitchell Starc at different points of all 3 Test matches. Lyon bowls round the wicket here, going back and playing to backward square is Chandy Mal. Doesn't beat the man round the corner, no run. And Lyon spoke at length about how he, to that point of his career, was so obsessed with trying to land the perfect off-break, he hadn't learned the craft of, as he later describes, bowling ugly.
Yes.
Which he did so well the next year in Bangladesh, especially when he had a bumper series there. Lyon delivers and forward for the first time is Chandimal, defending to where there's no silly point, no run. So what he meant by that, as he explained to us at the time, was more scrambled seam stuff where it would often land on the shiny side and kiss straight on, bringing both edges into play the way that Rangana Herath did so well at this ground for many years. So Lyon felt he'd become too predictable with his standard off-break. Bowls here. And, it's gone past Carey by the inside edge, possibly the thigh pad. It'll run away down towards the rope. Won't quite get there. Josh Inglis does the tidying up in front of the boundary line, in front of the fort as well. Looking for a signal.
Yeah, leg by. Quick leg by signal. Not side on for us. It was a bit hidden, but...
pad flat over Carey. Yeah. So good bounce. 3 for 47. He won't be worried by that.
And Carey has spent the whole morning working exactly those scenarios, practicing on a wicket just off to the right.
Lyon approaches and bowls and edging to slip on the bounce. Smith collects it on the half volley. Well bowled. Lyon to Chandimal there, finding the outside edge with the final ball of his over. A good one to start. 3 for 47, Tyre Power scoreboard. Big brands, better buys. Chandimal 9, Kimindu 14.
Terrific bowling line around the wicket. He just draws the batsman forward because he spins the ball up. He's not bowling flat and he's not coming from a height that just gives a different trajectory. He draws the batsman forward, gets the ball to drop, and that one went across the right-hander, and reflex showed that he just fended away and pushed the hands at it, got the outside edge. No carry to Steve Smith, but very dangerous, and Nathan Lyon already got into his work after a couple of shorter balls early. Not bad balls, just a bit shorter. And now he's found his groove, and I think he's walking around with an air of confidence now that this is exactly the perfect conditions for him.
So it's going to be Mitchell Starc, as predicted, to open the bowling from the Fort end on day 3. Picked up Karuna Ratner yesterday, caught in the gully. He's now the most productive seamer ever in Sri Lanka, level with Wasim Akram with 30 wickets. His 35th birthday yesterday as well, Starc.
What is it about left armers doing so well? Chaminda Vas as well?
Yeah, not wrong. 2 slips to the gully. Bowls to Kamindu here, close to the stumps. Kamindu in behind it defensively. Starc wearing the long sleeves, but more the undershirt compression stuff underneath his short sleeve Australia uniform. But yeah, coming back to that point about Lyons, so he left here desolate, not knowing whether he could really do the job in these conditions, bowling the way that he was. And by the time he'd reached India, took 8 for 50 at Bangalore, 2 test matches on from that. Had a really tough time of it in 16-17. Nearly lost his spot after the South Africa series, where they lost. Starc bowls here and leaving alone outside the line of the off stump, Kamindu.
Movement away.
Yep, movement away. Nice shape, bit of a tempter. So there was that rough period of his career, which started here in Sri Lanka and got through the other side of it. And 2017 was his most statistically productive year as a Test cricketer, taking 66 wickets. So he found a way to turn it around, but it required that sort of mini crisis here in Sri Lanka to change the way he's bowled in Asia. And since then, he's been an extraordinarily dependable bowler for Australia in these conditions.
Well, credit to him. He's there developing, learning, absorbing, seeing what others do. He's a real student and a curious cricketer. They're the ones that succeed.
Starc approaches close to the stumps, bowls here and beats the batter Kamindu. Genuine play and miss from a seamer. They have been ever so rare in this test match, but that's the skill of Starc. Late swing. Beautiful.
It was. So that the ball before, he was able to learn that there is some shape and the ball is moving. The ball's only, how many overs old is it? 16? 16 overs old, so still that movement. Then he got his line, attacking the stumps and the movement just away. Probably beat the outside edge on a 5th stump line. Terrific bowling by Starc. Bail height on that length.
Starc on the way from the Fort. Bowls here. Kamindu leaves on length, but another good probing line just outside the off stump there. So not quite as many people in as yet as there were yesterday. There were cricket games all over the grass banks. We were getting reports of those at dinner last night. A lot of Aussies have been enjoying it. It works out to about $2 entry on the hill.
Oh, perfect.
Far more, well, more expensive in the seats beneath where we are. But if you just want to rock up and pull up your own deck chair, you're all set over there. Starc delivers, and Kamindu hit on the front pad via the inside edge, out to cover it, spills, no run. I think it was $2 beers as well.
Oh, perfect.
So a combination of $2 entry and $2 beers on the hill.
And they've got the food vans at the back there as well. And
yes,
it's just a perfect setup. Not in the shadows of the Fort. The sun's coming.
No, it's brutal.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of shade there.
You might get a bit of sea breeze given the Indian Ocean's right at your back. Had some friends yesterday who went and had a swim at lunch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they nipped over and...
Now, I heard a rumour about crocodiles around here, but I don't know whether that's true or not.
In here, Starc bowling to Kamindu, who punches hard into cover. End of the over. Starc's bowled 5 overs. That was a maiden. 3 for 47. Chandy Mail's on 9. Kamindu's 14. Sri Lanka a long way behind Australia's first innings tally of 6 for 654 declared. That's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Big brands, better buys.
Bonnie Rick Heights, look out for a 2-car crash eastbound on Elizabeth Drive at Stavala Place, causing heavy congestion. Homebush, a 2-car crash southbound on Underwood Road at Australia Avenue. Mojo Homes summer sale is on now. For a limited time, build a new Mojo home and get $65,000 off, plus the coolest free upgrades for your new home. T's and C's apply. And Matty Johns is back for Morning Glory from Friday, February 7, right here on SEN 1170 AM.
SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes. Line continues away from us. Bowls here. Chandimal outside part of the bat. Out through cover it goes. Leading edge. They get a couple. So Chandimal using his feet was trying to work that through the onside. That's not where it went. So encouragement for Line again. 3 for 49 the score.
But encouraging to see Chandimal using his feet to get out. The rough goes out of play. Get to the pitch of the ball.
Chandimal facing Line, swings across the line, pass backwards, square for 4 it goes, out towards the hill. The call was catch. Inglis wasn't a million miles away from where the ball might have been within reach of a dive, but it did clear him, and he's not a giant anyway, is he, Inglis? On the contrary. But I wouldn't say that Chandimal middled that either. 3 for 53.
The slog sweep came in, and as it turned, he was able to get it quite fine over the 45, where you called Inglis. He's the catcher in that region. There's a deep square as well, so risky stuff.
Line bouncing to Chandimal. 3 catching men, pass slip, 4 runs. Smith went to his left. They're the ones that, where you're going behind the keeper, they're not easy. But they're also catches that Smith has made an art form of. We'll see it a second time here, Bryce McGain. So Line around the wicket, kissed the fleshy side of the ball, went straight on with the arm, and Smith stuck out the left hand. Did he get anything on it? We'll see again. Maybe the very end of his middle finger. But either way, it's not stuck, and it's 4 runs. Back-to-back boundaries. That is a chance.
Yeah, it went fast. Went very fast.
Come on, guys.
3 for 53. Line very much in the game. Bowls to Chandimal, who stays at home and defends to short leg where Head does the fielding.
Come on, boys.
Bharat Sundaresan jumping in as well. Morning, Baz.
Morning, gents.
Phoebe Litchfield out at the G for 45. 2 for 99 Australia in a women's test. Line bowls here, and he goes past the edge again. Second time in the over, Line's got it to go on with the arm from around the wicket. Exactly what we were setting up in the short as well.
Very short.
And he's standing next to a fast bowler who's very not. I think that's Vishnu Wanando is next to him.
Yeah.
Who's must be a good 6'3", 6'4" on old money.
Yeah, just to describe exactly where he was struck, it just about the tip of the strap of your underwear, of your underpant. Depends on where you wear it, but
some like to wear it a lot higher than that.
That is correct. Conventional.
Might be around the ribs. Not the best look, but
that's either a 16-year-old bloke or who's running out as the 12th man, or well,
not too many takers in the rest of the squad to actually want to be running out there. They bring in their younger cousin, bring in the nephew.
Better to have someone from the under-19s than the over-50s, by the way. The over-50s World Cup's in Gaul next week.
Oh.
Sorry, in Colombo next week. But a lot of the teams are going to be filtering through Gaul between the test matches. I know the Australian squad are out here soon for that. The England squad have already arrived. A couple of my teammates from back in London are playing in that England team. Stark bowling to Chandimal here. Defending out to the offside, no run. 586 the deficit. So,
T20s?
No, it's 50 over cricket. England won it last time in South Africa, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying. But it's become a massive part of participation and retention of players, is having the incentive to play international cricket in your 50s. It's been a huge deal. So credit to everyone who's coming out here for that tournament next week. What have you seen here, Bryce?
Well, just that Mitch Stark, who's bowling now, thanks Peter in Brisbane on the text machine, his sleeves are called Sparms. And have a cricket design focus.
All right. Want to get some? Stark bowls here. Short ball taken on. Hooked out to deep square leg by Chandimal. He was hit earlier in the over, but that always takes some bravery, playing it right in front of the lid. He's 29 with the single, 4 for 69.
And he's still in a lot of discomfort, just stretching that part where he was hit.
He's hobbling.
He is. Just trying to stretch that left leg of his.
As I mentioned, there can be nerves around that area that shoot down your leg. You can feel like you've got a dead leg, completely numb, and there's the inflammation just keeps getting worse and worse. He's in a lot of discomfort, just trying to move and hobble around. Again, 2 out on that hook shot for the new batter as well. 3 slips in a gully, so it's all out attack by the Aussies.
So Stark to finish. Short as well.
He's very short.
And he's standing next to a fast bowler who's very not. I think that's Fisher of Wanando is next to him.
Yeah.
Who's must be a good 6'3", 6'4", and old money.
Yeah, just to describe exactly where he was struck, it's just about the tip of the strap of your underwear, of your underpants. Depends on where you wear it, but...
Some like to wear it a lot higher than that.
That is correct. Conventional...
Might be around the ribs. Not the best look, but...
That's either a 16-year-old bloke or who's running out as the 12th man, or... Well...
Not too many takers in the rest of the squad to actually want to be running out there. They bring in their younger cousin, bring in the nephew.
Better to have someone from the under-19s than the over-50s, by the way. The over-50s World Cup's in Gaul next week.
Oh.
Sorry, in Colombo next week. But a lot of the teams are going to be filtering through Gaul between the test matches. I know the Australian squad are out here soon for that. The England squad have already arrived. A couple of my teammates from back in London are playing in that England team. Stark bowling to Chandimal here. Defending out to the offside, no run. 586 the deficit. So,
T20s?
No, it's 50 over cricket. England won it last time in South Africa, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying. But it's become a massive part of participation and retention of players, is having the incentive to play international cricket in your 50s. It's been a huge deal. So credit to everyone who's coming out here for that tournament next week. What have you seen here, Bryce?
Well, just that Mitch Stark, who's bowling now, thanks Peter in Brisbane on the text machine, his sleeves are called Sparms.
Sparms.
And have a cricket design focus.
All right. Want to get some. Stark bowls here. Short ball taken on. Hooked out to deep square leg by Chandimal. He was hit earlier in the over, but that always takes some bravery playing it right in front of the lid. He's 29 with the single, 4 for 69.
And he's still in a lot of discomfort, just stretching that part where he was hit.
He's hobbling.
He is. Just trying to stretch that left leg of his.
As I mentioned, there can be nerves around that area that shoot down your leg. You can feel like you've got a dead leg, completely numb, and there's the inflammation just keeps getting worse and worse. He's in a lot of discomfort, just trying to move and hobble around. Again, 2 out on that hook shot for the new batter as well. 3 slips in a gully, so it's all out attack by the Aussies.
So Stark to finish his 8th over. Might be the last ball of his spell. Short as well.
He's very short.
And he's standing next to a fast bowler who's very not. I think that's Fisher of Wanando is next to him.
Yeah.
Who's must be a good 6'3", 6'4", and old money.
Yeah, just to describe exactly where he was struck, it's just about the tip of the strap of your underwear, of your underpants. Depends on where you wear it, but...
Some like to wear it a lot higher than that.
That is correct. Conventional...
Might be around the ribs. Not the best look, but...
That's either a 16-year-old bloke or who's running out as the 12th man, or... Well...
Not too many takers in the rest of the squad to actually want to be running out there. They bring in their younger cousin, bring in the nephew.
Better to have someone from the under-19s than the over-50s, by the way. The over-50s World Cup's in Gaul next week.
Oh.
Sorry, in Colombo next week. But a lot of the teams are going to be filtering through Gaul between the test matches. I know the Australian squad are out here soon for that. The England squad have already arrived. A couple of my teammates from back in London are playing in that England team. Stark bowling to Chandimal here. Defending out to the offside, no run. 586 the deficit. So,
T20s?
No, it's 50 over cricket. England won it last time in South Africa, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying. But it's become a massive part of participation and retention of players is having the incentive to play international cricket in your 50s. It's been a huge deal. So credit to everyone who's coming out here for that tournament next week. What have you seen here, Bryce?
Well, just that Mitch Starc, who's bowling now, thanks Peter in Brisbane on the text machine, his sleeves are called Sparms.
Sparms.
And have a cricket design focus.
All right. Want to get some? Starc bowls here. Short ball taken on. Hooked out to deep square leg by Chandimal. He was hit earlier in the over, but that always takes some bravery playing it right in front of the lid. He's 29 with the single, 4 for 69.
And he's still in a lot of discomfort, just stretching that part where he was hit.
He's hobbling.
He is. Just trying to stretch that left leg of his.
As I mentioned, there can be nerves around that area that shoot down your leg. You can feel like you've got a dead leg, completely numb, and the inflammation just keeps getting worse and worse. He's in a lot of discomfort, just trying to move and hobble around. Again, 2 out on that hook shot for the new batter as well. 3 slips in a gully, so it's all out attack by the Aussies.
So Starc to finish his 8th over. Might be the last ball of his spell.
Being hydrated and making sure you move these steamy conditions, which really do wear you down, just adds weight to you. So getting into that right zone and keep on going for a long time is hard. But if the game is even, competitive, then you know you can transfer pressure onto the opposition, get mistakes.
Chandimal off the back foot is playing into backward point for no run. Todd Murphy, the fielder. Goggles, the nickname, for obvious reasons.
Get them thinking.
Come on then.
And pressure is, what is pressure? It's a fear of making mistakes. And when you have the opposition in that zone, it's easier for you as well to express yourself.
Kuhnemann bowls on the fort end. Chandimal defends into the onside.
Therefore, you could even feel dull in your mind, which just plays into the hands of the opposition. And Australia at this stage, they're not going to feel any pressure at all. They'll all be saying, just chip away, guys, just chip away.
They'll be thinking 16 more wickets. Kuhnemann bowls. This is flatter and a bit shorter. And Chandimal defends off the back foot into the covers.
Mitch Starc, he's done his bit for the morning, a few overs. He's even got Australia a wicket, roughed up that ball and preparing it for reverse swing later. And more than that, Tom, if you look at the pitch from here.
Kuhnemann bowls, driven this time by Chandimal. He'll hold on to the strike. 1 to long off. Hold that thought. 4 for 77 on the Type House scoreboard. Big brands, better buys.
Why do active traders choose IG Online Trading? Because they want more. More insight from experienced market analysts. More flexibility for trading on the go. More live info, more simplicity, more human support, and more markets. IG has thousands. So why do active traders choose IG Online Trading? Because IG gives you more. Search more from IG. Trading involves risk to your capital. IG Australia Proprietary Limited, AFSL 515106.
Sri Lanka 4 for 77. SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes. Russell Arnold alongside of me.
Just looking at the pitch from here, it just looks dry and it looks clear. The only bit of scarring or an area where there are different colours on offer are Mitchell Starc's footmarks. So he's done his job. He's created areas for the off-spinner to target. So that's another advantage of having a big lad like him running down these wickets.
Line bowls, Chandimal's down the wicket, punching 1 to long on for 1. 35 he moves to. De Silva's on 3.
Sri Lanka didn't really have that advantage. Not that when you're bowling first, it's not going to be an advantage because you dig it up, you got to come out and bat in those areas as well. Asita Fernando bowled very few overs and he's a little guy compared to Starkey, and you can see the difference it makes on the pitch.
Leg slip, first slip, short leg in place, line bowls, defensive off the front foot is Chandimal. Sorry, for De Silva for no run.
And I was doing the pitch report.
Yep.
Plenty of areas that are disturbed by Stark's footmarks. Now, these are not in the danger area or the protected area. Well and truly within his right to run down there, and those are the changes you expect on a pitch as well as a test match goes on. Angelo Matthews' dismissal comes from a spot on the pitch where Mitchell Stark consistently lands his feet on his follow-through. So Nathan Lyon going up in the air and trying to hit that area. Gets extra turn, bounce. You don't know how much variation you're going to get from the pitch, and it is a challenge. Now there are two fielders on the leg side with the helmets, one in front of square, one behind square. Nathan Lyon trying to hit those footmarks. So now you know why Lyon likes Stark a lot.
Lyon bowls. Oh, it's a plain miss from De Silva off the back foot looking for a late cut. So it's Labuschagne just behind square and Travis Head about 1.5 meters to his left, just in front of square on the leg side, both with helmets.
Now straight away, he's got Dhananjay De Silva taking a chance, playing against the spin.
De Silva now is down the pitch, just using his wrist to work it wide of Nathan Lyon for a single to long on.
And now these spots I'm talking about, Tom, are very full.
Yep, 2 full at the moment.
They are full. Australia played that length off the back foot. Now a big difference I'm seeing how the Australian spinners, especially Nathan Lyon, to the Sri Lankan spinners is, I keep talking about going up and down. The trajectory, the moment you go up in the air, that's what draws the batter onto the front foot.
Line to Chandimal to reverse. He has a big crack at it. It hits him on the pad. There's an appeal from behind the stumps, but it's halted.
He's outside the line of the off stump. He's trying to play that reverse sweep to get Lyon off that length of those spots. So a spinner needs to exert energy. He needs to go in the air and get it to dip up and down quickly. It's that trajectory that gets you onto the front foot. But if you're bowling it flatter or not getting the revs on it.
He goes again for the reverse, and again it hits.
Legs arm.
From far away, correct decision from the umpire. Kuhnemann bowls, defends on the front foot from De Silva.
Now Kuhnemann bowls a lot flatter than Nathan Lyon. We know Nathan Lyon has a high release. He goes well over, bowls with a lot of topspin. And therefore, consistently, it will dip. And also, in turn, he will get more bounce than other bowlers.
Left arm around the wicket, bowls, defends De Silva for no run again. Just some news quickly that Adam Collins spoke about briefly. We're not going to go there yet. We'll go there pretty soon when we get further confirmation. Back to here in Gaul. It's 4 for 79. De Silva and Chandimal at the crease. De Silva on strike. Short leg and first slip in place. It's a late cut, but they've placed Josh Inglis specifically at short third man for that reason. Low to the ground, and he's very clean in the field. The reserve wicketkeeper.
Still a lot of energy about the bowlers. It's a pretty steamy day today, Tom. Probably the warmest, so that'll...
Kuhnemann delivers. He's just shuffling down the wicket this time to Silva, but it's flat and it's defended again into the offside. 4 for 79 on the Type House scoreboard. Big brands, better buys.
When you swim for sick kids, Australia cheers you on. Be a Starlight Super Swim hero this February and join the challenge at superswim.org.au.
Have your say on Sydney's home of sport. Call 1300 01 1170.
Need some space? We know a place. For every stage of life, Storage King has hassle-free storage solutions. Store before the end of Feb and get 1 month storage free. Search Storage King. Conditions apply.
The SEN 1170 AM text line 0457 736 736.
SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes. Sri Lanka 4 for 79. It's been one-sided so far in this Test match. We're 2 and a bit days in. They trail by 575 runs, Russell Arnold.
Massive job on their hands. How do they go about it? Not too sure. Now, Nathan Lyon's one of those bowlers who's been very successful in Gaul.
He's bowling now, Nathan Lyon. It's just back of a length on the leg stump, and it's pushed away for 1 by Chandimal to the leg side.
Before I get to his success, with it being as hot as this, it's going to take its toll. The Australians will tire. That's what Sri Lanka need to count on. The ball to get softer so that there's not as much zip off the pitch, but also to get drained because it's hard.
Line bowls. De Silva defends.
The pitch will also dry further and become more and more difficult to bat on.
Come on, Gaza.
Legs
From far away, correct decision from the umpire. Kuhnemann bowls, defends on the front foot from De Silva.
Now Kuhnemann bowls a lot flatter than Nathan Lyon. We know Nathan Lyon has a high release. He goes well over, bowls with a lot of topspin. Therefore, consistently, it will dip, and also in turn he will get more bounce than other bowlers.
Left arm around the wicket, bowls, defends De Silva for no run again. Just some news quickly that Adam Collins spoke about briefly. We're not going to go there yet. We'll go there pretty soon when we get further confirmation. Back to here in Gaul. It's 4 for 79. De Silva and Chandimal at the crease. De Silva on strike. Short leg and first slip in place. It's a late cut, but they've placed Josh Inglis specifically at short third man for that reason. Low to the ground. And he's very clean in the field, the reserve wicket keeper.
Still a lot of energy about the bowlers. It's a pretty steamy day today, Tom. Probably the warmest, so that'll...
Kuhnemann delivers. He's just shuffling down the wicket this time to Silva, but it's flat and it's defended again into the offside. 4 for 79 on the Type House scoreboard. Big brands, better buys.
When you swim for sick kids, Australia cheers you on. Be a Starlight Super Swim hero this February and join the challenge at superswim.org.au.
Have your say on Sydney's home of sport. Call 1300 01 1170.
Need some space? We know a place. For every stage of life, Storage King has hassle-free storage solutions. Store before the end of Feb and get 1 month storage free. Search Storage King. Conditions apply.
The SEN 1170 AM text line 0457 736 736.
SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes. Sri Lanka 4 for 79. It's been one-sided so far in this Test match. We're 2 and a bit days in. They trail by 575 runs, Russell Arnold.
Massive job on their hands. How do they go about it? Not too sure. Now, Nathan Lyon's one of those bowlers who's been very successful in Gaul.
He's bowling now, Nathan Lyon. It's just back of a length on the leg stump and it's pushed away for one by Chandimal to the leg side.
Before I get to his success, with it being as hot as this, it's going to take its toll. The Australians will tire. That's what Sri Lanka need to count on. The ball to get softer so that there's not as much zip off the pitch, but also to get drained because it's hard.
Line bowls. De Silva defends.
The pitch will also dry further and become more and more difficult to bat on.
Come on, Gaza.
UK and Europe are on sale at Flight Centre. Fly from Sydney to London with Singapore Airlines from just $1,910 return. Book now at Flight Centre. And Maddie Johns is back for Morning Glory from Friday, February 7, right here on SEN 1170 AM.
SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes. Tom Morris with Russell Arnold. He can play aggressive cricket, De Silva. We know that, well, I do recall it was in Kandy, I think, on Test debut, when he blocked 4 balls from Steve O'Keefe and then hit him over his head for 6, and that was his first scoring runs in Test cricket. Off the mark with a 6. Line bowls to Chandimal, who defends to mid-wicket. Just the first Sri Lankan in Test history to get off the mark at the top level with a 6.
Good memory.
I remember that well because Steve O'Keefe has spoken about it at length. He thought he had him.
Steve O'Keefe is here.
He's here.
With a touring party. Australia missed him in that series because he played the game in Kandy and then he got himself injured.
Line bowls, reverse. That's beautifully hit, forward of square. Chandimal, he was early on the switch. He moves to 40. Nathan Lyon's got some decisions to make here.
Kusal Mendy scored 176, swept his way to 176. Now, Dinesh Chandimal, he loves Gaul. He's got 600s here and he averages 56, way above his career average. in goals. He's bottom hand dominant and hence scores a lot of his runs square of the wicket. Against the spin, it's about to sweep on either side. The faster bowlers, the cut or the pull.
Line to Chandimal. It's hit him on the pad. He pulled his gloves away at the right time. Was going over the stumps.
And counter-attacking innings have brought him a lot of success. 160 here against India, Sri Lanka, but 150, 200 behind. Lost 3 early wickets against Ashwin and Jadeja. He got 206 against Australia here the last time they played.
Yep.
And the battle between Lyon and Chandimal was immense. And right now he's decided against Lyon, he's got to bring out his favourite shot, his strength to try.
Line around the wicket, defensive from Chandimal. Change of angle from the bowler.
And survive. Survive by playing those shots and making Lyon do different things. Now around the wicket, he brings both edges into play. Because from here, the angle, he'll pitch in line with the stumps. One will go across, one will spin back in.
And Marnus Labuschagne, who was at, well, almost short backward square leg, is now at a genuine leg slip with a helmet on. He's low in his crouch, as is Travis Head at short leg. Down the pitch, Chandimal punching it to long on for one and just walking through for a single.
Low, crouched, finer, and loud. That's why Chandimal pulled out when Lyon was ringing.
Imagine having Marnus yapping your ear all day. And Josh Inglis's vocal as well, Alex Carey's vocal.
Imagine if you're the opposition, because you noticed.
Line bowls. Deft touch down the leg side from De Silva. Allows him to hold on to the strike. He moves to 12. The Sri Lankans are 4 for 93 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Big brands, better buys.
Beacon Trade. We're a true partner that always has your back. And when you're a Beacon tradie, you're part of a crew that's got you covered with great quality products and the best warranties. At Beacon Trade, we walk with you, work with you, by your side on every job. We've got the gear to get the job done. Everything for the residential home, lighting, electrical, and Australia's biggest range of fans. We've got your back. Beacon Trade. Never work alone.
There should be one more, and maybe 2 more overs before drinks here at Gaul. SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes. Sri Lanka 4 for 93. Nathan Lyon's gone off for a bit of an early drink. Nathan McSweeney replacing him on the field. Peter Lawler is in the commentary box. Good to see you again, Pete.
Good to see you too, Tom, Russell.
And a late start for him.
For Pete?
Tell you, I was here early, so I just got distracted by a story. Looks like the Australians who were in town for the cricket had a big night, doesn't it? There's very few of them shown up for the third day.
Kuhnemann bowls, and De Silva's defending into short leg.
There's plenty to celebrate last night, I think, with that big Australian total.
Well, they were late yesterday, but that's understandable because with the amount of rain we had overnight. You wouldn't have expected an on-time start, but there was nothing like that today from 6 o'clock.
Kuhnemann delivers again. This time with the back foot. It's more aggressive from De Silva, working it wide a bit on and pick up a single. Usman Khawaja dives. I can't imagine he'd be enjoying that too much.
Yeah, water might have had something to do with it, but I think it's water, hops and barley, fermented barley.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What is the nightlife like in Gaul, Pete?
I don't know. I go to bed early.
There was no Bucks night around last night for Peter to head to. Well, about Marnus, and imagine how it would be for an opposition player.
Kuhnemann delivers. Oh, it's driven on the up, if anything, from Chandimal to cover for no run.
When he yaps, because on many occasions we've seen his own teammates tell him to be quiet.
Do you think he listens?
No.
No.
I like the battle between Stark and Marnus.
Yeah. Kuhnemann delivers again from the fort end. It's driven on the up. This time he picks the gap down to that man Stark at long off for one.
Aided, that gap you mentioned, aided by Marnus. He anticipated that Chandimal's going to drive it between the gap, extra cover and point, and he moved to his left. But Chandimal faced the ball or hit it with a full face, which took it on his right.
Kuhnemann to De Silva. Defends into the offside. We went for a walk into the Fort Gall the other night. Bryce, McGain and myself and Alex Patterson, who's here with us, had a beautiful poke bowl where you build your own bowl, and you don't just do it verbally, you actually get a pencil and a sheet of paper and you tick the boxes, almost like a census. And you give them the sheet and then they build you the bowl, and it was fantastic.
A bit like going back to kindergarten.
That's it. Could have been. I was quite well suited there.
Yeah.
Bowls, there's probably a single there as well to Bo Webster. Half deep forward square leg. They decide against it to Silver and Chandamal. Happy to see off the over. 4 for 95 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Big brands, better buys.
Uncomfortable and struggling to stay cool this summer? Beat the Aussie heat with Dynabreeze industrial strength heavy duty fans. Whether you're indoors or outdoors, trust Dynabreeze to keep you cool and comfortable on the hottest days. Great for the workshop, home gym or patio. Dynabreeze fans are engineered to withstand the toughest conditions and are backed by an industry-leading 3-year factory warranty for that peace of mind. Dynabreeze industrial strength heavy duty fans. Get yours now at Bunnings and leading hardware stores.
SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes.
Talking among ourselves there. Sorry, listeners.
That's okay. 4 for 95. This first session is now been going for, what's it been going for? What are we doing? About an hour and 7 minutes for Crown. It's all happening at Crown. And for the first time today, Todd Murphy is on to bowl from the commentary box end, which is the northern end, as opposed to the southern end, which is the Fort end. Peter Lawler's remained alongside me.
Great to see Todd Murphy back in the Test team. Having watched him in India, you get to watch him a bit down there in Melbourne, do you?
I should be wearing my St Kilda hat right now, actually. Should be wearing my brimmed hat. Yeah, it's just next to you to the left. You see the brimmed hat?
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
One, yeah. Oh,
that's right. Thank you.
There you go, your $800 Italian designer sunglasses. Sorry, mate.
Murphy bowls. Defensive from Chandamal off the front foot. He's got a fascinating journey, Todd Murphy. I mean, country Victoria. His parents actually... I was speaking to his parents at the airport when we arrived.
Echuca, is it? Or that Echuca region?
Yeah. They drove from Echuca to Melbourne and then flew from Melbourne to Colombo, then Colombo to Gaul. It was a serious transit.
Good family, the Murphys. Had spent a bit of time with them in India. Disgraced myself, actually.
Murphy bowls. I wanted to hear more about that. Quick single to mid-off. He's got to be quick. Shy at the stumps from Kuhneman, and it misses. Chandamal just made it through. Says sorry to his partner, but there was one in it, if only just.
Well, the Australian, who I was working for at the time, announced to the family and the world that in fact, his girlfriend was his fiancée.
Who, Todd?
Yeah.
Not true?
Well, not at the time, no, but there was a lot of messages going around among the family, like, what's the date? Why didn't anyone tell us?
I don't think now either, as far as I know.
I was well ahead of the yarn.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well ahead, but 6 years ahead.
It was very funny.
Come on, lads.
Well, it's better to be ahead of it than behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Leg slip in place again. Murphy bowls, opens up the blade to De Silva and finds one into the vacant cover region. There are gaps there, specifically for that type of shot. That's why Steve Smith is so excited at first slip. But on that occasion, the batter was good enough.
He played a bit of cricket back around Bendigo, didn't he?
He was a medium pace bowler.
But that's where he picked up the spin bowling.
Yeah, Craig Howard was his mentor, spin bowling coach. Murphy bowls. Chandamal opens up the face again and finds a single to backward point. Bo Webster's fielding everywhere. He's been at first slip, he's been at leg slip, he's at backward point. He was halfway back to the boundary at forward square leg the last over. When I say fielding everywhere, his reach almost makes it seem like he's two fielders at once, Pete, which is a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Murphy, the fifth ball of his second over, bowls. It's tossed up, it's driven. It does a bit wide mid-off, it does. Bit of a misfield from Matt Kuhneman, who dived to his left, which isn't the side that bothers him, given his injury to his thumb and his right hand, and it trickles into the fence for 4. De Silva, lovely shot.
Lovely shot. Wasn't a great piece of fielding there by Matt, and punched the grass.
I was trying to be diplomatic.
Yeah, you can be. I don't think Todd Murphy would have been too impressed by that. Cost him a few runs. Because we've seen Todd a few times since India. He played all 4 tests over there, and he played 2 in England, didn't he?
Yep.
In the Ashes. Played at Leeds and the Oval, wasn't it?
Yep. He got Ben Stokes for a little bit there. Murphy bowls off the back foot. It's driven this time through the covers from De Silva. It's a big chase for Kuhneman, looking to make amends, and he can't do it. That just picked up speed as it gathered pace into the rope. And Murphy finishes his second over with a couple of boundaries off his bowl into the same spot on the field. The Sri Lankans are 4 for 106, and it looks as if it's drinks. It is. There'll also be a change in commentary with Adam Collins stepping in.
Foxtel Summer Sale. Get sport live in 4K Ultra HD, world-class.
UK and Europe are on sale at Flight Centre. Fly from Sydney to London with Singapore Airlines from just $1,910 return. Book now at Flight Centre. And Maddie Johns is back for Morning Glory from Friday, February 7, right here on SEN 1170 AM.
SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes. Tom Morris with Russell Arnold. He can play aggressive cricket, De Silva. We know that, well, I do recall it was in Candy, I think, on Test debut, when he blocked 4 balls from Steve O'Keefe and then hit him over his head for 6, and that was his first scoring runs in Test cricket. Off the mark with a 6. Line bowls to Chandamal, who defends to mid-wicket. Just the first Sri Lankan in Test history to get off the mark at the top level with a 6.
Good memory.
I remember that well because Steve O'Keefe has spoken about it at length. He thought he had him.
Steve O'Keefe is here.
He's here.
With a touring party. Australia missed him in that series because he played the game in Kandy and then he got himself injured.
Line bowls, reverse. That's beautifully hit forward of square. Chandamal, he was early on the switch. He moves to 40. Nathan Lyon's got some decisions to make here.
Kusal Mendy scored 176, swept his way to 176. Now, Dinesh Chandimal, he loves golf. He's got 600s here and he averages 56, way above his career average in golf. He's bottom hand dominant and hence scores a lot of his runs square of the wicket. Against the spin, it's about to sweep on either side. The faster bowlers, the cut or the pull.
Line to Chandamal. It's hit him on the pad. He pulled his gloves away at the right time. Was going over the stumps.
And counter-attacking innings have brought him a lot of success. 160 here against India, Sri Lanka, but 150, 200 behind. Lost 3 early wickets against Ashwin and Jadeja. He got 206 against Australia here the last time they played.
Yep.
And the battle between Lyon and Chandimal was immense. And right now he's decided against Lyon, he's got to bring out his favourite shot, his strength to try.
Line around the wicket, defensive from Chandamal. Change of angle from the bowler.
And survive. Survive by playing those shots and making Lyon do different things. Now around the wicket, he brings both edges into play. Because from here, the angle, he'll pitch in line with the stumps. One will go across, one will spin back in.
And Marnus Labuschagne, who was at, well, almost short backward square leg, is now at a genuine leg slip with a helmet on. He's low in his crouch, as is Travis Head at short leg. Down the pitch, Chandamal punching it to long on for 1 and just walking through for a single.
Low, crouched, finer, and loud. That's why Chandimal pulled out when Lyon was ringing.
Imagine having Marnus yapping your ear all day. And Josh Inglis's vocal as well, Alex Carey's vocal.
Imagine if you're the opposition, because you noticed.
Line bowls. Deft touch down the leg side from De Silva. Allows him to hold on to the strike. He moves to 12. The Sri Lankans are 4 for 93 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Big brands, better buys.
Beacon Trade. We're a true partner that always has your back. And when you're a Beacon tradie, you're part of a crew that's got you covered with great quality products and the best warranties. At Beacon Trade, we walk with you, work with you, by your side on every job. We've got the gear to get the job done. Everything for the residential home, lighting, electrical, and Australia's biggest range of fans. We've got your back. Beacon Trade. Never work alone.
There should be 1 more and maybe 2 more overs before drinks here at Gaul. SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes. Sri Lanka 4 for 93. Nathan Lyon's gone off for a bit of an early drink. Nathan McSweeney replacing him on the field. Peter Lawler is in the commentary box. Good to see you again, Pete.
Good to see you too, Tom, Russell.
And a late start for him.
For Pete?
I was here early, so I just got distracted by a story. Looks like the Australians who are in town for the cricket had a big night, doesn't it? There's very few of them shown up for the third day.
Kuhnemann bowls, and De Silva's defending into short leg.
There's plenty to celebrate last night, I think, with that big Australian total.
Well, they were late yesterday, but that's understandable because with the amount of rain we had overnight, you wouldn't have expected an on-time start, but there was nothing like that today from 6 o'clock.
Kuhnemann delivers again, this time with the back foot. It's more aggressive from De Silva, working it wide a bit on and pick up a single. Usman Khawaja dives. I can't imagine he'd be enjoying that too much.
Yeah, water might have had something to do with it, but I think it's water, hops and barley, fermented barley.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What is the nightlife like in Gaul, Pete?
I don't know. I go to bed early.
There was no Bucks night around last night for Peter too. It too? Well, about Manas, and imagine how it would be for an opposition player.
Kuhnemann delivers. Oh, it's driven on the up, if anything, from Chandimal to cover for no run.
When he yaps, because on many occasions we've seen his own teammates tell him to be quiet.
Do you think he listens?
No.
No.
I like the battle between Stark and Manas.
Yeah. Kuhnemann delivers again from the fort end. It's driven on the up. This time he picks the gap down to that man Stark at long off for one.
Aided, that gap you mentioned, aided by Manas. He anticipated that Chandimal's going to drive it between the gap, extra cover and point, and he moved to his left. But Chandimal faced the ball or hit it with a full face, which took it on his right.
Kuhnemann to De Silva, defends into the offside. We went for a walk into the Fort Gaul the other night. Bryce, McGain and myself, and Alex Patterson, who's here with us, had a beautiful pokey bowl where you build your own bowl, and you don't just do it verbally, you actually get a pencil and a sheet of paper and you tick the boxes, almost like a census. And you give them the sheet and then they build you the bowl, and it was fantastic.
A bit like going back to kindergarten.
Kuhnemann, I was quite well suited there.
Yeah.
Bowls, there's probably a single there as well to Bo Webster. Half deep forward square leg. They decide against it to Silva and Chandimal. Happy to see off the over. 4 for 95 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Big brands, better buys.
Uncomfortable and struggling to stay cool this summer? Beat the Aussie heat with Dynabreeze industrial strength heavy duty fans. Whether you're indoors or outdoors, trust Dynabreeze to keep you cool and comfortable on the hottest days. Great for the workshop, home gym or patio. Dynabreeze fans are engineered to withstand the toughest conditions and are backed by an industry-leading 3-year factory warranty for that peace of mind. Dynabreeze industrial strength heavy duty fans. Get yours now at Bunnings and leading hardware stores.
SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes.
Talking among ourselves there, sorry listeners.
That's okay, 4 for 95. This first session is now been going for, what's it been going for? What are we doing? About an hour and 7 minutes for Crown. It's all happening at Crown, and for the first time today, Todd Murphy is on to bowl from the commentary box end, which is the northern end, as opposed to the southern end, which is the Fort end. Peter Lawler's remained alongside me.
Great to see Todd Murphy back in the Test team. Having watched him in India, you get to watch him a bit down there in Melbourne, do you?
I should be wearing my St Kilda hat right now, actually. Should be wearing my brimmed hat. Yeah, it's just next to you to the left. You see the brimmed hat?
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Good one, yeah. Oh,
that's right. Thank you.
There you go, your $800 Italian designer sunglasses. Sorry, mate.
Murphy bowls, defensive from Chandimal off the front foot. He's got a fascinating journey, Todd Murphy. Country Victoria. His parents actually, I was speaking to his parents at the airport when we arrived.
Echuca, is it? Or the Echuca region?
They drove from Echuca to Melbourne and then flew from Melbourne to Colombo, then Colombo to Gaul. It was a serious transit.
Good family, the Murphys. Spent a bit of time with them in India. Disgraced myself, actually.
Murphy bowls. I wanted to hear more about that. Quick single to mid-off. He's got to be quick. Shy at the stumps from Kuhnemann, and it misses. Chandimal just made it through. Says sorry to his partner, but there was one in it, if only just.
Well, the Australian, who I was working for at the time, announced to the family and the world that in fact, his girlfriend was his fiancée.
Who, Todd?
Yeah.
Not true?
Well, not at the time, no, but there was a lot of messages going around among the family, like, what's the date? Why didn't anyone tell us?
I don't think now either, as far as I know.
I was well ahead of the yarn.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well ahead, but 6 years ahead.
I thought it was very funny.
Come on, lads.
Well, it's better to be ahead of it than behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Leg slip in place again. Murphy bowls. Opens up the blade to De Silva and finds one into the vacant cover region. There are gaps there, specifically for that type of shot. That's why Steve Smith is so excited at first slip. But on that occasion, the batter was good enough.
He played a bit of cricket back around Bendigo, didn't he?
He was a medium pace bowler.
But that's where he picked up the spin bowling.
Yeah, Craig Howard was his mentor, the spin bowling coach. Murphy bowls. Chandimal opens up the face again and finds a single to backward point. Bo Webster's fielding everywhere. He's been at first slip, he's been at leg slip, he's at backward point. He was halfway back to the boundary at forward square leg the last over. When I say fielding everywhere, his reach almost makes it seem like he's two fielders at once, Pete, which is a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Murphy, the fifth ball of his second over, bowls. It's tossed up, it's driven. It does a beat wide mid off, it does. Bit of a misfield from Matt Kuhneman, who dived to his left, which isn't the side that bothers him, given his injury to his thumb and his right hand, and it trickles into the fence for 4. De Silva, lovely shot.
Lovely shot. Wasn't a great piece of fielding there by Matt, and punched the grass.
I was trying to be diplomatic.
Yeah, you can be. I don't think Todd Murphy would have been too impressed by that. Cost him a few runs. Because we've seen Todd a few times since India. He played all 4 tests over there, and he played 2 in England, didn't he?
Yep.
In the Ashes. Played at Leeds and the Oval, wasn't it?
Yep. He got Ben Stokes for a little bit there. Murphy bowls off the back foot. It's driven this time through the covers from De Silva. It's a big chase for Kuhneman, looking to make amends, and he can't do it. That just picked up speed as it gathered pace into the rope. And Murphy finishes his second over with a couple of boundaries off his bowling to the same spot on the field. The Sri Lankans are 4 for 106, and it looks as if it's drinks. It is. There'll also be a change in commentary with Adam Collins stepping in.
Foxtel Summer Sale. Get sport live in 4K Ultra HD. World-class.
Well, confirmation that Mitchell Marsh, Pete Lawler, is out of the Champions Trophy. A statement from Cricket Australia saying that this is due to ongoing lower back pain and dysfunction. Matt Kuhneman has the 2 slips in the short leg. Wicket in his previous over. Kushal Mendez on naught, sweeps away, gets his first run. Deep backward square, a single to Nathan Lyon, 5 for 113. So they're saying here that he's been ruled out by the medical team, hasn't responded sufficiently to his rehabilitation with his lower back pain flaring up in recent weeks at the National Performance Centre. Now an extended period of rehabilitation.
Confirmation as to why he probably didn't bowl much during the Test series at home.
Yes. Kuhneman delivers here, stuns out again. Lunging forward defensively, Chandimal on 49, no single to short leg.
It sounds like it's a bit of a mystery, that injury, isn't it? It was reported that it was a stress fracture. The Cricket Australia medicos are very keen to point out, at pains to point out, Simon, that it's not a stress fracture, but it's some sort of peculiar sort of
Kuhneman bowls, edging past Smith at slip, and that'll be Chandimal's half-century. They'll think about coming back for 2. They won't take on Inglis, but either way, the former captain, Dinesh Chandimal, who was instrumental to Sri Lanka beating Australia here in 2022, copped a whack early, fought through that, raises the bat. 50 from 91 balls. He's putting in a shift. There needs to be a lot more where that's come from, but at 5 for 114, Chandimal's showing the way.
Yeah, and they need this because these 2 are their 2 last recognised batters. And it's going to be important because as soon as Australia get a whiff of the tail, it'll be spin and potentially Mitch Starc if they feel like that ball's going to reverse.
Kuhneman to Kushal. 2 slips bowls here, goes back, deflects past by Webster at second slip to backward point, no run.
You know, we were saying before, weren't we, about Chandimal? You said that 206 not out here in 2022, 162 not out here in 2015. He loves batting here. 150 against the Windies.
Couple left in the over. Kuhneman bowls, bites and bounces into the gloves of Carey. Kushal Mendez pulled out of the shot at the right time.
That's a great sign for Kuhneman. That means he's getting serious work on the ball. To see that spit and bounce off a good length there. Yes, Kusal Mendes is a short man, but that really turned and bounced. So great signs he's getting good work on the ball.
Kuhnemann to finish. Kusal gets forward, beats the bat. Well bowled again, Kuhnemann. 5 for 114 at the end of the over. Tom Morris will jump in for me after the break. Chandimal 50, Kusal Mendes on 1. That's in the Tyre Power scoreboard. Big Brands Better Buys.
Picnics on the beach, pool days, backyard sport. Whatever your summer looks like, it's always better with a 4 and 20 in hand. Enjoy the classic taste of 100% Australian beef in delicious gravy wrapped in golden flaky pastry. Watching sports, playing sports, or just soaking up the summer sun. Biting into a 4 and 20 pie is the ultimate summer snack for whatever summer you're having. 4 and 20, Australia's original fan favourite.
SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes. Just double checking I was on. 5 for 114. The Sri Lankans. Peter Lawler, Simon Katich. Thanks for having me on board. Todd Murphy's bowling around the wicket. It's left outside the off stump by Chandimal.
Conditions are changing here. The winds come up. I think the players will appreciate that. There's a big breeze a fair breeze coming off the ocean, and there's some dark clouds coming in from the west.
Murphy yet to take a wicket. Bowling around the wicket. This time, Chandimal is playing with his bat into the offside. Defensive shot.
And they're predicting on a 50% chance of rain today. The temperature's just peaked up around 30, although I don't know what sort of thermometers they're using.
I mean, it's been a beautiful morning. It's been warm, but I think mid-afternoon it seemed like there might be a shower that came through.
Murphy bowls back in the crease. Chandimal defending again. It's the same sort of pattern every day, though, isn't it? Yeah. Late afternoon thunderstorm of some sort.
Starting to see this pitch play a few tricks, aren't we? So Mendes, that ball rise up at him in the previous over, and he's down there looking at a spot on the pitch, tapping at it, getting inside their heads.
Yeah, it's no...
And that reared up, didn't it?
Yeah, it's no surprise day 3 and the heat this morning, given that it's starting to crust up.
Short leg in place. Travis Head's right on the square leg line. There's a noise for a caught behind. Looks like he hit his pad. Steve Smith liked it at first slip. No surprises there. Chandimal survives.
And the other thing that's been noticeable this morning too has been how clean Alex Carey's been.
Yep.
Another very good take there, whipping the bails off quickly. The last over off Kuhnemann as well. That ball bouncing, and then also the last ball with the sort of muted shout, beating the outside edge.
Murphy approaches from around the wicket. He bowls. Defensive shot from Chandimal, square of the wicket on the offside. They'll pick up a single. He moves to 51. Probably one of the most underrated people in the Australian setup is Andre Borovic, who's the wicket-keeping coach and the fielding coach. Played a lot at Geelong Cricket Club, a lot with Ollie Peake's dad. Played hundreds of games as a wicket-keeper. And the fact they've got a specialist wicket-keeping coach working with Alex Carey, I think, is significant.
Oh, they were out there this morning. I saw them. He had the little bat that they use, the one that's been sort of got the edges on it that flap, and the ball hits it and then deviates slightly, but...
That's the one I used to bat with.
But yeah, no, they were doing a lot of work this morning to either throws or spinners warming up.
Murphy from over the wicket to Mendes, who's defending on the back foot with his pads together, but safely in the end. Sri Lanka 5 for 115 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Big Brands, Better Buys.
Cowan, look out for a broken down bus southbound on the M1 just past the Pacific Highway, taking out one lane, causing slight congestion. Collerton early, a car crash northbound on Roper Road at the M4, causing heavy delays. Looking for a simple way to...
The entire venue that we've got. Kuhnemann bowls. And Chandimal defends back to him. G'day, Bryce.
Good morning, Tom. Kat, how are you going? Good, thanks, mate. You enjoying this work from the spinners so far? I am. They've been consistent. One thing notable that they have been a lot quicker than the Sri Lanka.
Kuhnemann from the fort end, and Chandimal defends to long off for a single. Just trickle down to the man down there, Mitchell Stark.
And it's only about 5 kilometres, but all 3 Australian spinners have been Murphy the quicker of them all, but because of the pace, there's less time, and I think it's contributing to more errors, more opportunities. They've learnt from the blueprint in watching a lot of the way that the Sri Lankans went about it.
Sweep shot from Mendes. He loves playing aggressive cricket, the wicketkeeper, but Nathan Lyon is protecting the deep backward square leg boundary, and it's just one.
Would it be harder, Kat, to be facing it to be quicker on these wickets where it's not as easy just to come down and use your feet and do that? Is that harder on this type of surface?
Oh, definitely. If you've got that slower nature to the bowling and you can get to the ball on the half volley and the full like we saw the Australian batsmen, it makes things a lot easier.
Chandimal lunges forward and defends Kuhnemann.
But also, too, I think the extra pace, particularly when it's got that extra work on it with Nathan Lyon getting the ball to drop, and even Kuhnemann last over. You know, that ball that really bounced, it looked like it still had good work on it. Yep. Yes, the wicket helped, but it was quite a full length for the bounce that it got.
Kuhnemann delivers. It's shorter, it's flatter, and Chandimal stands up over the ball, a bit like what Bo Webster does, and punches it to mid-off for one.
And that's the only challenge, that very last ball, is getting too flat too quick, because then you're not really going to deceive the batsmen with their judgment or picking of length, and that's still crucial to bowling spin, is to try and defeat the batsman with the length that you bowl and also the work you get on the ball to get it to drop.
The last ball of Kuhnemann's 12th over is defended with some conviction by Mendes. He's on 2. Chandimal is 53. Sri Lanka 5 for 118 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Big brands, better buys.
Cowan, look out for a broken down bus southbound on the M1 just past the Pacific Highway, taking out one lane, causing slight congestion. Collerton earlier car crash northbound on Roper Road at the M4, causing heavy delays. Looking for a simple way to connect with trusted tradings? Start with High Pages. Check recommendations, get quotes and book all in just a few taps. Visit highpages.com.au. And Matty Johns is back for Morning Glory from Friday, February 7, right here on SEN 1170 AM.
It's a beautiful looking day here in Gaul. SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes. The sun is out. There are a few clouds that are starting to shape over one of the most picturesque venues in the world. The Gaul Fort is well attended again, but Todd Murphy's bowling from the commentary box end, which is the northern end. He's bowled 4 overs, none for 17. It's the first session. Crown, it's happening at Crown. This is Murphy bowling around the wicket. It's left alone by Chandimal.
Have you been commenting that Murphy is from St Kilda Cricket Club? Because a little bit of feedback here for you from Robbie saying Murphy is from Moama Cricket Club in New South Wales. So a little bit cheeky, just suggesting that he might be a New South Welshman.
Murphy bowls. I'll deal with that in a second. Chandimal defends. He considers himself a Victorian.
Okay. Well, he plays for Victoria, we know that. But right on the border of the Murray, for those that are unaware.
He's hedging his bets, mate. He's playing for the Sixers in the BBL.
Yeah.
He is too. How did that happen, by the way?
Easy. Shippy's there.
Yeah, Shippy. Picks him good.
Murphy delivers. It's pitched up. It's hit in the air. It's almost caught at mid-off. Diving to his left was Nathan Lyon, but it will go for 4. Chandimal hit it hard and flat. It wasn't a chance. For a second, I thought it might be going straight into Nathan Lyon's bread basket. But in the end, it crashes into the fence. Aggressive cricket from Chandimal.
Yeah, beautifully played there. He got the timing and placement right. It looked like for a second it might just go to Nathan Lyon, who's very athletic in the field, diving full stretch to his left, but it just kept going further and further away from him on the breeze and absolutely hammered that.
So Chandimal's 57. He's facing Murphy now. It's pitched up again. It's hit in the air back to Murphy, who was moving to his right. And will go to long on for 1. Things starting to happen for the Victorian off-spinner. No wicket for 22, his figures.
Well, that's a great sign, that last one, because that ball must have gripped because it caught the inside part of the bat. Chandimal has been looking to try and get the ball through mid-off and cover, but on that occasion there, just turning a little bit, catching the inside part of the bat and almost coming back to him for a caught and bowled.
Kasul Mendes on strike. The keeper defends on the offside. He's got a test double century here, Mendes, against Ireland in 2023, back in April 2023. 245 from 291 balls.
Oh, he can play. He's in white ball format. He goes hard.
He's one of the many former captains of one-day cricket here in Sri Lanka, and he defends Mendes into short leg to finish Murphy's 5th over. He has no wicket for 22, and the Sri Lankans are 5 for 123 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Big brands, better buys.
Constipated and struggling to poo? Caruso's Constipation Ease to the rescue. Caruso's Constipation Ease comes with a money-back guarantee at pharmacies and health stores. Always follow the directions for use.
Have your say on Sydney's home of sport. Call 1300 01 1170.
Constipated and struggling to poo? Caruso's Constipation Ease to the rescue. Caruso's Constipation Ease comes with a money-back guarantee at pharmacies and health stores. Always follow the directions for use.
The SEN 1170 AM text line 0457 736 736.
Sri Lanka 5 for 123. We've got, how long have we got? We've got half an hour remaining in this first session for Crown. All the action that's happening at Crown. Bit of action for Matt Kuhnemann so far. He's picked up 2 wickets in this first innings, bowled with a new ball. And he's delivering again now to Chandimal from the Gaul Fort end. Chandimal's edging just to the right of Bo Webster at second slip, who then has to duck because the throw came in from Inglis. There was almost a run out on. Luckily, from a Sri Lankan perspective, Mendes sent Chandimal back. That would have been out by half the pitch. Bo Webster rolling all over the turf. Bharat Sundaresan, good to see you again, Bazball.
Good morning, Tommy. Yet again, Bryce.
Warm enough for you?
Kuhnemann bowls. And Chandimal just defends it back to him.
I grew up in the humidity of Mumbai and now gone used to the dry heat of Adelaide, so I'm well trained to deal with this.
What's the average temperature in Mumbai in the middle of summer?
Oh, you don't want to know.
And I would do, actually. Might go there on a holiday. Kuhnemann bowling, defended this time more from the crease, Chandimal.
It's not the hottest part of India, for sure. I mean, it'll be in the mid-30s, but the humidity is what gets to you. It's draining. It's not just during summer. The early part of, we don't have spring or fall, fancy season. Right?
What, 2 seasons?
Yeah, pretty much. And the monsoon.
Yeah. Kuhnemann delivers, this time backward cut from Chandimal to Josh Inglis at backward point for no run.
And that shot is not without risk. I've got to point out, I know we just sort of call it, oh, he just back cut it. There are 2 slips there. He's got no value in the shot. There's 0 value in opening the face and playing it through there because Inglis is so fine.
Bo Webster's at second slip. It's a long way down for him, the Tasmanian, defended by Chandimal down the pitch off the front foot.
In a weird way, the Australian batters batted on this pitch like they're the ones who are used to playing a lot of cricket here, and the Australian spinners have bowled like they're the ones who are acclimatized to this rather than the Sri Lankans.
Last ball of Kuhnemann's over. That's a cut, but it's forward of point. That's a high percentage shot. The chase is on for Todd Murphy to the deep cover point boundary, and the ball will beat him. The batters almost crash halfway down the pitch. They were ball watching. It doesn't matter.
Tom, that's the adjustment there. Rather than just blading it behind point, he stood up and whacked it in front of point. Much safer shot and a better result, clearly.
That's the end of the over. Sri Lanka 5 for 127 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Big brands, better buys.
Discover the all-new MG HS, more space, tech and performance from $34,990 drive away. Experience the reinvented HS today at your local MG dealership. T's and C's apply.
Did you know you can watch all your favourite SEN shows on YouTube? Subscribe today.
Step up to the next generation of power with Makita XGT 40 volt and 80 volt max. Limitless power and efficiency. Makita XGT outpowers the rest. Makita XGT. It's power without limits.
5 for 127 Sri Lanka. SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes. The first session is 28 minutes remaining. Crown, it's all happening at Crown. Let's go around the grounds to Delhi, Bharat, and tell us why this is significant.
It is significant. I spoke about it yesterday. Some 30,000 people rocked up at Firozshah Kotla to watch Virat Kohli make his dramatic return to Ranji Trophy cricket for the first time since 2012. They saw him field and wave and keep them entertained yesterday, but he's just been cleaned up. Off stump sent cartwheeling by a medium pacer called Himanshu Sangwan, and he made 6 of 15. So I think there were an extra 10,000 today just to watch him bat.
Well, the positive is he didn't get caught in the slip cordon.
That's correct.
Scott Boland wasn't there.
Yeah, Scotty wasn't there.
Looked like a very odd
this is
awkward dismissal. I saw a clip on it on social media. Yeah.
This is a 4-day first-class game.
Yep.
And his first-class game since 2012.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So the only red ball he's played for the last 12 and a half, 13 years is Test cricket.
Yeah.
Is that normal for the Indian cricketers who are playing all formats?
Yeah, I mean, once you get to a level, it is.
Yeah. So there's 2 men under the helmet on the leg side. Line bowls. And very watchful is Mendes, the keeper, on the back foot. He thought about opening up the blade. There's a vacant cover, decided against it.
Hey, going back to what I was saying in the previous over, the Sri Lankan batting, the batters have been frenetic. haven't they? I mean, they've used their feet, but they've looked rushed against the Australian spinners.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Line bowls to Mendes. This time he's on the back foot more, trying to turn it around the corner. Only goes as far as Travis Head under the lid.
Oh, that gripped and turned. That turned sharply. Really spat off the wicket. Lyon with his overspin. The immediate change up here, and this is difficult. It's not set and forget bowl 20 overs from one end. Murphy to Lyon, around the wicket, over the wicket. Steve Smith is pulling all the right strings here.
He's over the wicket now. Mendes is lunging forward and defending into the offside. So Todd Murphy's the man at mid-off, and he's come almost as an extra cover position. Mitchell Starc at backward point, and then Steve Smith at first slip are the only fielders on the offside.
He loves doing this, Steve Smith, using his spinners in short spells.
It really lights him up as part of cricket.
Lyon's 14th over. It's a sweep shot from Mendes. He's hit it really nicely to the man in the deep. It's fielded by Matt Kuhneman in front of quite a few Aussie fans down there in the hill. They'll get a single. Mendes moves to 3.
Did you hear Carey in the effects mic out there, the stump mic, saying spin, spin, spin? It's going to spin or spin away from you. Don't just put your knee down. See, probably more fast bowlers get caught out with that. Would that be true, Bharat, rather than spinners? Spinners would understand that and they're the intellects of cricket.
The ball that spins at backward point is one where you need a good fielder.
Yeah, we've seen everyone's seen a baffled cricketer go, how did that spin on the second bounce?
And why?
And why? It's probably a better question. So there's just a delay here. Alex Carey making sure Nathan Lyon is happy with Todd Murphy in that extra cover position. Chandimal on strike. He's 62. He's shuffling across the crease, and you actually see the dust come up as he does so and playing it into the onside.
Once again, just with that footwork, there's no uncertainty about it, is there?
No, he's crossed his front leg across his back leg and then had to play around his front pad. He got in a really awkward spot. Probably just happy to survive. It was a good delivery, but his footwork is all over the place there. And there's a lot of doubt because of those footmarks and it was Russell Arnold talking about them earlier, the footmarks of Mitchell Starc outside the right-handers off stump that Lyon bowls into. He's had a career of it, let's be honest, the two of them. But here, there's some target areas, some pancakes out there that put doubt in the batsman's mind.
There's a field change. Steve Smith's gone from first slip to short third man. Lyon bowls. Oh! That's exactly why Chandimal went to late cut it. It was a plain miss. That's the end of the over. Steve Smith, as Bharat has been telling us all summer, just shuffling the chess pieces around whether he's captain or not. This is SEN Test Cricket for Henley Holmes. Sri Lanka 5 for 128 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Big brands, better buys.
North Parramatta, a broken down car southbound on James Roos Drive off-ramp to Pennant Hills Road, taking out one lane, causing heavy congestion. Moving home, don't do it alone. For every stage of life, Storage King has hassle-free storage solutions. Store before the end of Feb and get 1 month storage free. Search Storage King. Conditions apply. And Matty Johns is back for Morning Glory from Friday, February 7, right here on SEN 1170 AM.
Sri Lanka 5 for 128. Lots of action, just like at Crown. All the action that's happening at Crown.
A really well bowled Nathan Lyon and Steve Smith. They're on the same strategy there. So Smith, because the ball's biting out of that area, he went back to the backward point. You called it right, Tom, but it was there to force him to go, well, I can't reverse sweep it now. Oh, he's put another catcher back there. I'll have to just keep playing from the crease. And Lyon saw that. The anticipation is, oh, well, he's not going to bowl the slider, and then he does bowl the slider that challenges the outside edge of the bat. As much as there wasn't a slip there, it's not what the batter is expecting. Carey's got the gloves there, and it was very nearly an edge through to the keeper. Great strategy here by Australia, and Bharat, you're spot on with it, that Australia looked the most comfortable out of the spin bowling strategies.
And they're being proactive. Todd Murphy now from the Fort end. Short leg and first slip of the catches. There's a long on in place as well. He bowls. It's straight. It's flat. And Mendes defends to short mid-wicket for no run.
In a long chat between Steve Smith and Nathan Lyon about just that particular delivery in between overs. You could see Steve Smith indicating, I put the point fielder there. He's working on strategies for the next over.
Murphy's 6 over. Defended off the back foot by Mendes. He's 3 from 18 deliveries. And his partner Chandimal is 62 from 112.
Just so far with Todd Murphy, Bryce, doesn't look like he's been consistent enough with his length. As he's been a bit too full.
He bowls now. Slog sweep. The call is catch. It'll go the whole way for 6. Just 10 to 15 metres wide of the man at long on. Mendes was a ticking time bomb. He was waiting for a ball that was pitched up there. He could free his arms. McSweeney, the fielder. But it's gone 5 metres over the rope, and that's his first 6.
It's a shot that he plays so well, Kusal Mendes. I mean, most of these Sri Lankan right-handers do. Generally, you expect the slog sweep to go more towards cow corner, deepish mid-wicket. It's just slightly wide of long on.
Yeah. The ball was well outside off stump. Murphy bowls again, and he shaped up to slog sweep Mendes and decided against it. Played a defensive shot in the end.
The line was a bit straighter on that ball. That's why he couldn't do it. Free the arms outside off stump. He will go. Now he's going round the wicket. So the battle is on. When I say he, Murphy, round the wicket now to the right-hander.
5th ball of his 6 over. Bowling to Mendes, who's defending with an open blade, very safely though. To backward point, Matt Kuhneman, the fielder.
Some spinners do find it a bit challenging when there are 3 in the mix. Murphy, the little experience he has of Test cricket in the subcontinent, 3 out of the 4 Test matches he played in India did have Nathan Lyon and Matthew Kuhneman. I speak to a lot of Indian spinners who played as a third spinner, whether it's Murli Karthik back in the day or Pragyan Oja. Because you are the one who gets underbowled.
Murphy from the fort end, it's tossed up. Playing on the back foot again. He seems relatively comfortable there, Mendes. Defends to the offside. 5 for 134. The Sri Lankans on the Thai Power scoreboard. Big brands, better buys.
Hello, it's Albert Sanusa from State Transport. Covering the Eastern Seaboard and beyond, State Transport has no boundaries when it comes to delivering your freight within Australia, no matter how big or small. We help our customers win on and off the road, and you can rely on our 24/7 round-the-clock services. Call us on 134 888. State Transport, our people are your solution.
Or it's a bus station, isn't it?
But the railway station is just there as well.
Is it?
Line over the wicket of Chandimal. It's a sweep shot. Marnus Labuschagne was fielding at leg gully with the helmet on, and all he could do is just stick out his right shoe, and the ball trickled past him for 1.
The Colombo goal train ride, it's not too long. It's just around 2.5 hours. Supposed to be very scenic.
Okay.
Just by the coast.
Sounds lovely.
Lyon, a very distinctive approach to the crease. He passes the umpire, he bowls close to the stumps, and this ball goes straight on. And Mendes opens up his hands and defends it to the offside.
Just on the third spinner thing, because the reason, because you get underbowled and one spinner does get underbowled, it's so important for you to not get desperate and say, okay, I need to make an impact in the 3-4 overs I get.
Lyon bowls. Mendes defends, he's hit on the pad. The question from behind the stumps was, did he play a shot? The umpire says he did, and it hit him outside the line of the off stump.
I'm not sure he did.
No.
It's
a grey area, isn't it?
Behind the pad.
It's a grey area.
And then after it hits the pad, the bat sort of appears and goes, I was playing a shot.
Yeah.
So silly point, leg slip across to silly point now. Just mix and matching. Lyon won't bowl anything different here.
Means Travis Head's just gone a step to his right at short leg. Lyon bowls. It's a sweep shot as the ball was outside off stump, and it's into the deep for 1 to square leg.
Yeah, Travis Head didn't like that shot at all. As soon as the sweep went up, it was like, curling up. You don't want to turn your back because all your padding's on the front.
Yeah.
You really just want to curl up behind your shin pads and duck your head. Yeah. That's the safest way, but if you're exposing everything, there's a lot of flesh getting exposed if you try and stand up and move and get out the way. I guess it's a reflex to shy away, but...
They call it the turtle. Just get yourself as small as possible with the shell being the helmet. Now, there's a few raindrops here in Gaul. That's happened quickly. It was sunny about 3 minutes ago. Lyon bowls. Oof. Chandimal defends to mid-wicket for no run.
Yeah, heavy raindrops as well now.
Yeah.
Picking up in intensity. The ground staff, as always,
bit of thunder
emerge from nowhere. Oh yeah, thunder as well.
So the umpires should go directly off now. There's thunder. That means lightning's around.
I tell you what, I don't want lightning where we're sitting right now.
Yeah.
No, we are the highest point.
We've got electricity everywhere, all around us. They're just having a chat. The 2 umpires. They're going to stay out there for now. The groundsmen don't seem in any great rush. They've just made their way to the covers. Last ball of Lions overs. And it's left outside the off stump by Chandamal. He had a good look at it. There's a gap at cover. Decided not right now. 5 for 136 on the Crown. It's happening at Crown scoreboard.
Step up to the next generation of professional power with Makita XGT 40 volt and 80 volt max. Experience premium professional power with cordless convenience that's setting new benchmarks in performance and efficiency. With limitless professional power, reliability and runtime, XGT simply outpowers, outsmarts and outlasts the rest. When power means business, choose Makita XGT. It's power without limits.
I want my Makita back.
Well, not good news here from Gaul. The covers are coming on. There is probably about 15 barefooted curators and grounds people and helpers bringing them back on from one side. In fact, they're coming on from all angles.
Yep.
It is raining. The raindrops are heavy. It's still relatively light, and there's a bit of thunder around Bharat and Bryce. Disappointing with 15 minutes to go before lunch.
I mean, there were some thunder showers forecast for later in the afternoon. This doesn't feel like a very heavy rain or a thunderstorm yet. We've seen it before. Last time we were here, it can get really messy and very scary very quickly. But yeah, you spoke about the heavy raindrops. It's not heavy rainfall, but yeah, big thick raindrops. So the ground stuff, you can always make out what they make of the weather by the intensity with which they bring out the covers. They're still at 50% pace, maybe 60% pace, Bryce.
Yeah, they may know that they've got a bit of time, but the key to what they're doing is bringing them all out.
Yeah.
There's going to be some heavy stuff here coming. It's amazing weather patterns here. This would excite many a meteorologist, how things move around here and how they just grow out of nothing. It was a furnace 15 minutes ago, and the sun was belting down, hardly a cloud in the sky, and then it's just growing out of nowhere, and there's clouds everywhere, and a bit of thunder as we heard in the background. So we'll, yeah, look, I'd imagine they'd call an early lunch now, given the time frame. Try not to lose as much, or lose as little cricket as possible. But, yeah, the covers are coming out, even the ones that go into the corners of the ground.
Yeah, the outfield will be covered up as well now.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's been yet another session that Australia will take.
I think the covers here should be sponsored by Tyre Power, because once they go down, the tyres come out. There's 200 tyres that get wheeled out, and they're the weights that keep it down. So
it is a work of art. It's like a patchwork quilt the way they do it, and there's one person with an umbrella that's directing traffic, but it feels like they all know exactly what to do. They're a well-oiled machine.
And the overlap, it's not just random overlap. It's to use the slope of the ground so that no water gets under covers. I did send a note on social media the other day. Premier cricketers should take note of this. We should be filming this and sending it to them, because putting the covers on at any cricket game is just chaos. It is complete mayhem.
The only thing worse than that is having to go there on a Friday night and put the covers on ready to play the next day. That's
a Premier cricket nightmare, that. Get volunteers to do that.
I also wonder, these guys must be so good at just like getting that bed sheet so proper on a king size bed or a queen size bed. I'm terrible at it. I get pulled up for it at home all the time. But maybe I should just take a couple home.
These guys could fold a fitted sheet too. That's what we're talking about. It'll be a well-made bed, but the spare fitted sheet, they could fold it. No issue.
So the news here, 5 for 136, the Sri Lankans, through 42 overs. Chandamal 63. Kasul Mendes is 10. He's faced 25 deliveries. Hit a big slog sweep 6 over wide mid-on from the bowling of Todd Murphy, it was. Nathan Lyon has 1 wicket, and Kuhneman has 2, and Mitchell Stark has 2 as well. So it's barely raining, but lunch has officially been taken, so that's 11 minutes early, and we'll keep you updated on what else is happening here at the Gaul International Stadium, which is a fantastic venue. I said this morning, Bharat, on the new ball, the fact it was a racetrack or a race course initially, it only had first-class cricket, I think, from 1984, Test cricket from 1998. I haven't been around Sri Lanka clearly, but they wouldn't be playing 2 Test matches here if it wasn't the premier venue in Sri Lanka. I mean, what's Colombo and Kandy like?
Oh, I mean, Colombo is the premier venue still, but I think this has just become a tourist destination test, especially when you get countries who have a lot of tourists come through. So New Zealand had 2 tests here. Australia seemed to play only in Gaul. And he spoke about this having been a racetrack. Australia racing ahead with this test match. They got the, well, I don't know if you want to call it a bonus wicket, but the big wicket of Kamindo Mendes, Mitchell Starc, just getting him to glide at one down the leg side, getting caught neatly by Alex Carey, and then Dhananjay De Silva looked okay till he was there. Error in judgment, left the crease too early. Beautiful piece of bowling from Matt Pooneman, and getting Alex Carey another stumping. Dinesh Chandimal, meanwhile, hasn't always looked comfortable, but he's hit a lot of boundaries, and like he did 3 years ago, seems to be the thorn in Australia's flesh. Kusal Mendes with that 6, he's otherwise been pretty restrained. And Steve Smith, well, he's done what he loves doing in the subcontinent. A lot of bowling changes, a lot of fielding changes. He's been enjoying it. The Australians have been enjoying it. And they would have probably liked another wicket, but with the tail just a wicket away, they will take the way these things have gone.
He's hyperactive in his captaincy, just like he is with his batting, and it's working so far in this test match on both accounts. Don't go anywhere. I do think we'll have cricket after lunch. It's light enough to suggest that is the case, and it is windy, which means the rain will come through. The batting partner at the moment for Chandimal is Kusal Mendes. He's on 10 from 25 balls. As I said, hit a 6 and no 4s. That's for IG Online Trading. Why do active traders choose IG? Because IG gives you more. Just repeating, lunch has been taken a little bit early. It's sunny. It has been raining a little bit. We're just waiting to hear waiting to see exactly how this affects the second session of play. We'll talk to Lisa Sthalekar, who's at the MCG at lunchtime. We'll talk more about what we've seen in the first session. But Sri Lanka, a 5 for 136 from Gaul.
Hasn't been the case. MS Dhoni, I think, played his last Ranji Trophy game in 2004. Maybe a week before he made his test debut, and never played another game.
That's just incredible, isn't it? And that's not because the seasons don't line up. It's just because once you're playing for India, that's it.
That's it. You just don't get time. Rohit Sharma, I think the last game he had played before the one last week was 2015. So it's become a trend. So Pujara was one guy who regularly played Ranji Trophy cricket because he didn't play a lot of white ball cricket, did he? But the others, the regulars, 3 formatters, Rohit or Virat or Jadeja or a lot of others, Jasprit Bumrah as well in recent years. Jasprit Bumrah, it makes sense. We want to keep him fresh for India.
Yeah.
Don't let him.
Yeah, bowlers I get.
Yeah, but a lot of the batters haven't played, so yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's now I don't know whether the trend will catch on, but for now at least, the BCCI have been very, very stringent on getting them to play the Ranji Trophy.
Annabelle Sutherland's dismissed finally at the MCG, 163 from 258 balls. This follows her last test innings of 210. What an incredible player she's becoming, a genuine all-rounder, and she's making a name in Test cricket as well as the white ball formats. The Australians are 4 for 327 on day 2 in that Women's Ashes test at the MCG, a pink ball test with a lead of 157 with 6 wickets in hand. Beth Mooney and Ashley Gardner at the crease. Beth Mooney, who's in great form herself, an amazing T20 innings the other night in Adelaide where she actually batted through the entire innings, is on 62 not out, and Ashley Gardner's just come to the crease. She's yet to get off the mark. We're not sure whether Elise Perry will bowl given her injury concerns later on, but Tali McGrath can certainly bat, and so can Alana King and Kim Garth as well, and they still to come in. So Australia with the upper hand, and England staring down the barrel of a 16-0 whitewash, which would be quite incredible and absolutely worthy of some sort of investigation or review once these ladies get back to the UK. You mentioned the 10 Commandments before of Indian cricket. Can you explain to us broadly what they are and why they've been introduced?
I think it goes back to the lack of performance is how it's been deemed. The loss against New Zealand, the whitewash, first ever in a 3-match series on home soil, followed by not regaining or retaining the Border Gavaskar Trophy, I should say. And that's led to other issues. And I spoke about it during the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Got a lot of flack for it from India and from certain prominent members of the Indian media for talking about the dressing room issues, that the lack of cohesion within that dressing room, which we saw come to the surface as that series went on and once India started losing matches. So I think all that has been highlighted once everything went. So we don't, in India, there's no review committees or what are those things? The Argus report that was
the Argus review.
Those reviews, they just like jumped on it, and the BCCI said, okay, we need to do something about it. So playing domestic cricket is only one of those commandments.
But how's that been received, do you think?
Well, Rohit Sharma did a press conference when they announced the Champions Trophy squad, and I mean, he spoke about why players haven't always got a chance to really play any Ranji Trophy because of all the multi-format cricket games that they've been playing. And the other one is, of course, partners for an extended period of time. There's a fixed regulation as to how long wives and kids can be with the players, and players have to travel together. They have to take the team bus, take the same flight that the rest of the team is on, can't make their own travel plans, and can't tour also with their own private staff, whether it's security or even, I've heard, and it's pretty loose wording there, because some of the Indian players have also started traveling with their own personal chefs. Even that is not being frowned upon, but it has come under a lot of scrutiny.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me that India would do this, given the success they've had over a number of years, not having these commandments, but clearly that he's trying to lay down the law, the coach.
Yeah.
Which I understand a little bit as well, but I fundamentally think captains should run cricket teams, not coaches. The issue might be that the captain, in this case of India, has been out of sorts, and Rohit Sharma, and then if Jasprit Bumrah becomes the captain, well, that makes sense, but he's got a lot on his plate as well. So Gautam Gambhir trying to assert his authority is important. I get that. And domestic cricket is important as well, but it's such a multi-layered issue, and not being able to bring partners on tour is something that I would imagine would disenfranchise a lot of players. Even though they're being paid big money, they still have families they'd like to spend time with.
Yeah, 2 weeks is the time that they've been given that they can travel with the family if it's a tour more than 90 days, or not 90 days, sorry, more than 1.5 months. And the other thing is, I think, look, there are senior, and it's a cultural thing as well. What has happened in Indian cricket in the last 15 or so years is some of these cricketers have gone on to become ultra major celebrities, and then what happens is they have their own security personnel.
We got a special guest.
We do.
This is excellent. So this is live radio for you. Martin Inglis, the father of Josh Inglis, Test debutant, is going to jump in with us, which is fantastic. Just getting his headset sorted. Hi, Martin.
Hi,
good
mate.
to see you. Tom, how are you going? And Bharat.
Bharat.
Nice to meet you, Bharat. Yeah,
Hi, mate.
nice to meet
That's
you.
great. Have a photo. This is live radio. Here we go. You know how the sausage is made here. So this is the commentary box, Martin. This is where Adam Collins very well called your son's Test debut century yesterday. What an incredible moment for you. And in the 24 hours since, how's it sitting with you now?
Oh, it's good. It's obviously surreal. Yeah, I didn't see that coming, but no, it's okay. It's like the after the Lord Mayor show.
Speaking of that moment, and here's a confession. I stood in the corner of that roof where we sat, and I was stalking you and Sarah. From the time Josh was, I think, on 92.
I've been stalking her for years.
No. So you were successful in the end, clearly.
in the end. Yeah.
So I just kept an eye on you, and it was so lovely watching your body language. You were, cutely telling each other off for getting too excited, like you're calming each other down. And then when it happens, and there was that LBW shout, it's clearly not out, when he was on 92, I think, and both of you went, ooh, and then you had to calm her down. It was just can you take us into those last 15 minutes before he got there?
Like you say, when the review came up, luckily you could just see the deflection. I thought, I don't know, 58 or 60 or whatever he's on, and then, as you get close then, I wasn't too bad, actually. I was okay. He was getting the boundary, and then he was getting one and getting off strike, because obviously scorchers and stuff, gets the boundary, wants to get another one,
Go again.
wants to get another one, and it always comes unstuck. So it was, it was. I could see him. That's how he was playing, so I was okay.
And the moment itself, like you were leaning in to see if he was going to get the second run.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, I probably had a few shardies by then. So it was, So I was blowing him kisses and God knows what else. But it was amazing feeling.
Let's go back to the very start. Josh Inglis is born in England. Whereabouts in England?
He was born in Leeds,
right?
In Yorkshire.
We all love Leeds.
That's where Sarah's from. So
and where are you from?
I'm from the Midlands, Coventry.
Right. Okay. So he's born there. You're living over there. When and why did you move to Australia?
We'd been here on holiday 4 or 5 times. Port Douglas, Sydney, Brisbane, Perth twice, and just loved the lifestyle. You know, it just suited us. So, and then with my age, I was about 42. Obviously, with the the visa system, 45 is the cut-off. So we had to make a decision. My job was in industrial flooring, so it wasn't on any list. So I had to change tack. So we looked everywhere. We actually dropped on a college in Cannington in Perth called the Silver Trowel Training, which sounds shocking, but it was good. It was good. It only cost me $28,000, and and then the visa fees and the rest of it. Financially, terrible, but the lifestyle, and it's good. It takes a few years, but once you get there and you work hard and you can get on, I think. So, great.
Just to put what Martin said into context, the skill migration, as someone who moved to Australia from overseas as well, there are a fixed number of skills on that list. So if you don't fulfill that criteria, which is why when I moved, I had to move through my wife Isha, who's a special needs teacher. So it would have been quite a challenge for you, right? Yes, you'd like the...
Well, you can start the pathway, can't you? And then they can change it.
Yes.
Because people come in and abuse the system, you see, so they change it, and then you can get knocked off and have to restart. It's tough.
What an amazing lifestyle change for you as well. Josh Inglis goes from being a young cricketer who probably loves the game in England to hanging out with Aussie kids who were at the time, I don't know, loving Adam Gilchrist or Ricky Ponting or these types of players. How was that adjustment from a sporting perspective?
Oh, he'd always he loved Michael Clark. That was his number one.
Well, he moves his feet like Michael Clark. That's what we mentioned yesterday on radio.
Oh, if he could be half that player, then it would be good. But it was it was easy. It was just a bad time. Joe, my youngest, he's 27 now, but he was 12. Josh was 14. So terrible time for adolescent boys to be coming over.
Oh, so he was 14, not 10?
No, he was 14.
Right.
And Joe was 12. So, it was really difficult. But, you get through it. You get through the 18s and the 19s, and then,
How much did cricket play a part? I mean, yes, the move was more financial for a better lifestyle, you said, but was cricket even a thing? Because at 14, I'm sure he would have played some age group cricket back home.
He'd already been in the Yorkshire system, so he started there at 11. So like I said on ABC, I'm going to have to get a media manager, obviously.
Yeah, clearly.
But he got 100 at 11, and there was a bit of a gasp in the presentations because the 15s. They got 100 in the final. The 17s got 100 in the final. He got 100 at 11. So and he was already there. But
was he a prodigy? I mean, be honest. Like, was he always going to play international cricket in your mind?
Oh God, no.
No.
God, no.
So was he the best player in his age group? Like, how did he rank compared to the other kids his age? Was he small?
Yeah, well, he's only short, isn't he? I mean, he's not very big. But
you know, young players, when they're small, like, they probably can't perform like bigger players when they're at that age.
Yeah. In stature at kids' cricket, because they can hit a ball. Sometimes you get a little bit carried away with that, can't you? But, he was always a decent player. Not, there's been some way better players. But, they don't tend to come through, do they?
She spoke about how difficult it would have been for an adolescent child, a teenager like him to move here. What was his reaction when the family discussed and they said, look, we're moving all the way to Perth?
Well, I remember the first day at school at Kinross College in Perth, and me and Sarah watched them walking up the road, and they looked pretty forlorn. And as he came in, I said, how did it go? He said, how do you think it went? It wasn't easy, and then they get into it, and then they're up and running. So,
and sport's an amazing vehicle to bring people together as well. I mean, there's no better way to meet someone than spend a full day with them on the cricket field. So he would have used cricket in that way. How long did it take him to stop supporting England to supporting Australia?
Oh, God. Well, I've got to say he supported Australia straight away, obviously. Oh, no, I don't know. Yeah, he shifted. My other boy was a bit in between.
What are you?
I've got to go over to the bright side, obviously.
Yeah. So next year's Ashes series, if Josh Inglis...
Where a lot of Indian cricketers, once they make the international team, no longer play Ranji Trophy. It's become even more prominent once the IPL came into being. So the likes of Rahul Dravid and VVS Lakshman and even Sachin Tendulkar would show up and play Ranji Trophy. I've gone and watched Sachin play for Mumbai or Bombay as a kid as well, and covered a few of his games after I became a journalist while he played state cricket. But it hasn't been the case. MS Dhoni, I think, played his last Ranji Trophy game in 2004, maybe a week before he made his test debut, and never played another game.
That's just incredible, isn't it? And that's not because the seasons don't line up. It's just because once you're playing for India, that's it.
That's it. You just don't get time. Rohit Sharma, I think the last game he had played before the one last week was 2015. So it's become a trend. So Pujara was one guy who regularly played Ranji Trophy cricket because he didn't play a lot of white ball cricket, did he? But the others, the regulars, three formatters, Rohit or Virat or Jadeja or a lot of others, Jasprit Bumrah as well in recent years. Jasprit Bumrah, it makes sense. We want to keep him fresh for India.
Yeah.
Don't let him...
Yeah, bowlers I get.
Yeah, but a lot of the batters haven't played, so yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's now I don't know whether the trend will catch on, but for now at least, BCCI have been very, very stringent on getting them to play the Ranji Trophy.
Annabelle Sutherland's dismissed finally at the MCG, 163 from 258 balls. This follows her last test innings of 210. What an incredible player she's becoming, a genuine all-rounder, and she's making a name in Test cricket as well as the white ball formats. The Australians are 4 for 327 on day 2 in that Women's Ashes test at the MCG, a pink ball test with a lead of 157 with 6 wickets in hand. Beth Mooney and Ashley Gardner at the crease. Beth Mooney, who's in great form herself, an amazing T20 innings the other night in Adelaide where she actually batted through the entire innings, is on 62 not out, and Ashley Gardner's just come to the crease. She's yet to go off the mark. We're not sure whether Elise Perry will bowl given her injury concerns later on, but Tali McGrath can certainly bat, and so can Alana King and Kim Garth as well, and they still to come in. So Australia with the upper hand, and England staring down the barrel of a 16-0 whitewash, which would be quite incredible and absolutely worthy of some sort of investigation or review once these ladies get back to the UK. You mentioned the 10 Commandments before of Indian cricket. Can you explain to us broadly what they are and why they've been introduced?
I think it goes back to the lack of performance is how it's been deemed. The loss against New Zealand, the whitewash, first ever in a 3-match series on home soil, followed by not regaining or retaining the Border Gavaskar Trophy, I should say. And that's led to other issues. And I spoke about it during the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Got a lot of flack for it from India and from certain prominent members of the Indian media for talking about the dressing room issues, that the lack of cohesion within that dressing room, which we saw come to the surface as that series went on, and once India started losing matches. So I think all that has been highlighted once everything went. So we don't, in India, there's no review committees or what are those things, the Argus report that was...
The Argus review.
No reviews, they just jumped on it, and the BCCI said, okay, we need to do something about it. So playing domestic cricket is only one of those commandments.
But how's that been received, do you think?
Well, Rohit Sharma did a press conference when they announced the Champions Trophy squad, and he spoke about why players haven't always got a chance to really play any Ranji Trophy because of all the multi-format cricket games that they have been playing. And the other one is, of course,
it fluctuates a bit, doesn't it? When he went back to Yorkshire to play for Poole Cricket Club in just next to Otley and in Yorkshire, so they when he came back, he was, hey, old how's it going, he was proper Yorkshire again, and then I think he probably got a bit of stick, and then he reverted to type.
Can you tell us about the differences from your vantage point of elite junior players and the pathway system in England, and what it was like in Australia when he arrived? If there are any.
From my point of view, I thought in England, you see, it's kind of who you are and where you go to school, and it's, I don't know, is it a bit elitist? I don't know. It seems to be that more, but here, if you get runs, take wickets, you get a crack, I think. Yeah, you know, whereas there, I think it's who you are and say, do you go to Millfield School or something like that? And I think that is a little bit...
That's fascinating.
Certainly in the rugby, because I know with my nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What club's he at in WA, Josh Inglis?
Joondalup.
And so who else has played there and who's helped him there along the journey?
Oh, God. We have like a Centurions Day, and they all... Mike Valletta.
Oh, yeah.
Stuart Spinner. He's involved with Warney.
Oh, Stuart McGill.
Stuart McGill, yeah. He played when they were at North Perth. Loads of different... Michael Swartz played international cricket for Holland, didn't he? And he's a good lad sport, so he's good.
That's great.
Josh spoke to us about the moment he found out that he's going to make his Test debut. Tony Dodobin knocked on his door and he ran in like a boy on Christmas Day, told his partner and his child, and then immediately FaceTimed you guys. So can you just take us into that moment when you find out, we have to pack up and go to Sri Lanka now, Sarah?
Yeah, it was. We were obviously hoping that it was going to come, but then you think, like we keep it on the down low. And then when he FaceTimed, I thought, because he had a smile on his face, which is rare, so, and it was, I thought we could be on here, and straight away he said I'm playing, and it was like, oh wow. So we had to quickly get a visa, get that over the line, and then book flights. We literally got the last 2 seats on Singapore Airlines.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been full on, and then so we didn't sleep for 36 hours.
It's all worth it. No wonder you're having a few drinks yesterday.
Oh my God, yes, you've got to. You've got to enjoy it when it comes along.
Thanks to Steve Smith and Usman Khwaja, they gave you the day off.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? One of the most fitting things I reckon is that when he was out there making his Test century, Alex Carey gave him a big hug. They clearly have a strong relationship. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, look, when we went to India for the World Cup, they dropped Kez after one game, which is like knee-jerk of, wow, God. And then so Josh played, and then we went to the semi in Calcutta, and then we went to Ahmedabad for the final. And obviously they won, and he was the first one to come up to me and Sarah in the changing rooms at Ahmedabad, because we'd known his mum and dad from playing in Adelaide, and they're really nice people, they're great. And yeah, he was just fantastic, and I think what you see is what you get with him, and he, that couldn't have been easy to come over and congratulate us. Him not, Alex not playing in the final, so it was like, I think he's a cracking bloke, and Josh is as well, and I think they'll both be there for each other.
What was it like being in Ahmedabad with 10,000 Indian people being silent? That would have been quite an experience.
They went off like a train. I thought, oh my Lord, and I couldn't believe the noise. And little Oscar was there with his headphones on, and I've never ever heard noise like that. And I thought, if this is going to go on, it's going to be unbelievable, But obviously, Travis did what he did. And,
that was it.
And he went silent.
Well, Glenn Maxwell wrote about it in his book with Adam Collins, that they just wanted to silence the crowd. And Glenn Maxwell got that first wicket, didn't he? A fantastic catch by Marnus Labuschagne. Travis Head it was. Travis Head, yeah. Whoa, that thunder is strong. You're good? And as a result, the Australians, their form of that reaction from the crowd wasn't cheering, it was actually silence. The more silent it was, the better it was for the Australians.
And then as you get closer to the end, they were filing out droves.
Can I ask, do you support Australia in other sports as well? So do you support the Wallabies or not?
No.
Be honest. No.
I don't. I don't watch a lot of other sports. I'm going to be diplomatic.
But if you did,
If I did, obviously I'm watching Australia. Because I love their football team.
Yeah, the Socceroos, yeah, that's
yeah.
And the Matildas, of course.
Mark Viduka, Harry Kuehl.
Yeah.
Both played for Leeds, obviously.
They did. Yeah, I remember the day that Mark Viduka scored 4 for Leeds.
Gone.
Famous day. Famous day.
Great player.
And Harry Kuehl was a fantastic player for Leeds as well.
Unbelievably.
Yeah. So you're a Leeds supporter?
No, definitely not. I was
Birmingham City.
Coventry City.
Oh, Coventry City.
My hometown.
Right.
So we were in the Premiership for 35 years.
Where are you now?
We're in the Championship.
Okay, so only second tier.
Yeah, we just got Frank Lampard as new manager.
He's been around. He's been at a few different clubs, Frank.
Yeah, he seems to be going okay.
Yeah.
So, look, just...
that can go this way or the other.
Yeah, definitely.
Last question for me. Are you planning to travel around the world and Josh play? I mean, you're the youngest looking grandfather I've ever seen.
I know, aren't I? No, we went to Barbados for the World Cup and watched him run the drinks. And it cost me $30,000. so I've been burnt a little bit. But no, look, when and if, it'd be fantastic. You know, if he gets another gig, whatever, it'd be great. And if he pays, it'd be even better.
A couple of IPL deals would always help.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That would be good.
We saw you and Sarah get so emotional when he got to that 100. So do you guys have a ritual generally when he does play and you're not there at the ground? Like, how many glasses of Chardonnay do you go through?
You need at least 2 to settle the nerves, just as a starting point. Like Mitch said in Josh's presentation, I think it may be T20. Mitch goes, and they'll be watching back home having a shardy, but will they remember the second innings?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting because we speak, this is just me brainstorming, we speak about cricketers and golfers and tennis players who come through and they've got tiger parents and they're pushing their kids a certain way.
It doesn't work.
No, so you were the opposite, partly because you're not a big cricket fan yourself, but also partly because that's not what you believe is the right way to parent your kids. But who was the biggest influence on Josh's career from a cricket perspective growing up?
We had a guy at Yorkshire, a guy called Tony Pickersgill, and he was a great coach and very level-headed. And then going forward, I suppose JL.
Yeah.
He was good. I think he got Josh working, which he needed at the time. And I suppose V as well, Adam Voges. But Josh doesn't really speak to me about it, so I'm only grasping names.
But that's probably good. It's better than you standing behind the nets telling him to play through cover as opposed to through point.
I just can't imagine him doing that. Yeah. I can't. They wouldn't tolerate it. And my youngest, he's got white line fever. I can't. Joe plays A grade at Jewel. I couldn't. Oh no, I wouldn't even dream of it. But no. So we just take it back instead.
Have your lives changed much since Josh, started playing for Australia, World Cup winner, now Test debut as well?
Of course. It can't not change, can it? It's been good. It's been great for us. Oh, the famous parent.
Oh, that's great. You got recognised.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Wow. Go to India, you might get recognised even more, especially if Josh Inglis keeps making runs. Martin, really appreciate your time. You and Sarah must be so proud. Listening to Adam Collins call the century yesterday and watching Josh Inglis bat, I said on the new ball this morning, I genuinely believe Josh Inglis will play 6, 7, 8 years of international cricket, and I'm not just saying it because you're here. The way he moves his feet is fantastic. He sweeps, he's dynamic, and he's an excellent keeper as well. So long may it last, and thanks for joining us on SEN.
Definitely. Thank you.
Awesome. Martin Inglis joining us on SEN, the very proud father of Josh Inglis. Stay with us on SEN Cricket. We're here for Henley Holmes.
Follow SEN Cricket on Instagram, X and TikTok for all the behind-the-scenes action from Sri Lanka. Live from Galle, this is the first test between Sri Lanka and Australia on SEN Test Cricket.
With over 350 locations Australia-wide, Metro Petroleum is the perfect place to rest and refuel on your journey. They've teamed up with Mr. Whippy and launched brand new Mr. Whippy ice cream cups in vanilla bean and chocolate flavours. Thirsty? Simply scan the QR code after purchasing any 2 600ml Powerade varieties for only $7.50 during February for your chance to instantly win one of 25 $200 active vouchers. So fill up and treat yourself and your Valentine this February at Metro Petroleum.
GIO protects the conversations that begin in your precious sunken living room. A place of questionable jokes and endless bickies and cheese. If it's precious to you, Protect it with us. Flexible levels of cover available with GIO Home Insurance. Protect precious. Visit gio.com.au. Limits and exclusions apply. Before buying insurance issued by GIO, read the PDS and consider whether it's right for you. Go online for a copy. TMD also available.
Uncomfortable and struggling to stay cool this summer? Beat the Aussie heat with Dynabreeze industrial strength heavy duty fans. Whether you're indoors or outdoors, trust Dynabreeze to keep you cool and comfortable on the hottest days. Great for the workshop, home gym or patio. Dynabreeze fans are engineered to withstand the toughest conditions and are backed by an industry-leading 3-year factory warranty for that peace of mind. Dynabreeze industrial strength heavy duty fans. Get yours now at Bunnings and leading hardware stores.
Hi, Ian Healy here. For 50 years, Sherlock wheelbarrows and carts have been lightening the load for weekend warriors and tradies alike. Built tough to last, so you can count on them season after season. With a wide range plus parts and accessories also available, Sherlock has everything you need. Sherlock wheelbarrows and carts, because quality matters. Explore the full range at sherlocklastslonger.com.au. Available at Bunnings Warehouse.
Razorback 4x4 seat covers, the ultimate in protection, comfort and style for your four-wheel drive interior. These seat covers are perfectly tailored to fit like a glove, and they're super easy to clean, keeping your four-wheel drive seats protected from spills, messy mishaps, mud and more. With a range of materials and colours to choose from, free shipping nationwide and thousands of 5-star reviews, discover why Australian four-wheel drive owners are choosing Razorback 4x4 for their pride and joy. Visit razorback4x4.com.au.
Get ready to strike gold this summer. The Golden Grey Summer Carnival returns to Albion Park with 5 action-packed weeks of feature racing and almost $1.6 million in prize money up for grabs. The Golden Greys will see the nation's best sprinters and stayers chasing glory until February, including the return of the Queensland Flame Group 2 Epics, the Group 1 Gold Cup, the Group 1 Gold Bullion and the Q Gold feature night for our state's best chasers. The Golden Greys Summer Carnival at Albion Park. Queensland is racing.
Did you know that Cobram Estate extra virgin olive oil supports heart health when consuming 2 or more 15ml serves per day as part of a balanced diet? Cobram Estate is made from olives grown in northern Victoria, which are harvested and first cold pressed within 4 to 6 hours to create a premium quality oil. This is why every bottle is fresh and full of flavour, making your food taste even better. Cobram Estate, premium quality, great tasting, and the most awarded Australian extra virgin olive oil.
Speakers from the Chicago Bulls, Essendon Football Club and the Australian Institute of Sport discuss wearables, data tracking, concussion, nutrition and AI. Catch all the sports science seminar insights online and free from February 5th to the 7th. Find out more at acu.edu.au/HBS Summer Seminar 2025. Active, cutting edge, unbeatable. So much more with ACU.
Follow SEN Cricket on Instagram, X and TikTok for all the behind-the-scenes action from Sri Lanka. Live from Galle, this is the first test between Sri Lanka and Australia on SEN Test Cricket.
Line bouncing to Chandimal. 3 catching men, pass slip, 4 runs. Smith went to his left. They're the ones that where you're going behind the keeper, they're not easy. 2 slips to gully, bowls hit. Down the leg side, sounds woody, gone. Kamindu strangled down the leg side. What a way to go on a pitch like this. Stark gets a second. Australia, an early wicket on day 3.
Line bowls, reverse. That's beautifully hit forward of square. Chandimal, he was early on the switch. He moves to 40.
Kuhneman bowls, using his feet stumps. Dhananjaya, the captain, went for a gallop. Kuhneman sputtered hard and Carey did the rest. The former captain, Dinesh Chandimal, who was instrumental to Sri Lanka beating Australia here in 2022. Copped a whack early, fought through that, raises the bat.
The bowls now. Slog sweep. The call is catch. It'll go the whole way for 6. Just 10 to 15 metres wide of the man at long on. I would be shocked if there was any more cricket for the day. You can hear me, Colo? That's all good?
Oh, I'm all good. Pete Lawler's suggesting that his ears blown off. We can work.
We're in the marquee on the roof. SEN Test Cricket for Henley Holmes.
It's all good now, thanks, Colo.
Okay. And the Tyre Power scoreboard at the MCG reads Australia, 4 for 357. They lead the English by 187 with 6 wickets in hand. And the news of the day there is Annabelle Sutherland's followed up her double ton against South Africa a couple of years ago or a year ago with 163 today. Beth Mooney's 69 not out. Ashley Gardner's 20 not out. And Annabelle Sutherland is fast becoming Adam Collins and Pete Lawler a behemoth in women's cricket with a ball and bat.
Well, 3 test centuries now in the last 3 test matches that Australia have played. Maybe 3 of the last 4, actually. They played one in India over Christmas a couple of years ago. Spent so much of our life at the MCG. Her old man, grew up working around the corner, right, at Jollymont at Cricket Australia. There's some beautiful photos doing the rounds on social media of her and her brother, who are now captains Victoria in the men's Sheffield Shield team, hanging out on the MCG as kids. Who would have known that she'd go on to make a test century there? It's a wonderful story. As for the wider game situation, England could bat 3 times and Australia might still win by 2 innings. We talk often of teams having one foot on the plane when they're in their final test match of a long and punishing series. That's exactly where England have found themselves at this juncture. It's a sorry state of affairs. They're about to be the first team ever whitewashed in a multi-format series.
What was sorry, Pete, go on.
Oh, no, I was just going to reminisce about seeing Annabelle and her brother.
Yeah, look it up.
2015. No, I don't need to look that up. 2015 Cardiff. Were you there, Colin?
I was.
Walking back from the ground one day, watching them play kick to kick.
Yeah.
The other brother's a golfer, isn't he?
Tom Sutherland's a golfer at Royal Melbourne.
Yeah.
And there was a great day, and I think we might have mentioned it on air the other day, when Annabelle Sutherland made a double ton against South Africa. Will Sutherland took a 5 for in the Sheffield Shield, and Tom Sutherland shot 65 at Royal Melbourne. He plays off +4. Incredible. And he's very good friends with Harry Dixon, who's coming through the Renegades. And Tom Sutherland's actually a good cricketer himself. He plays district cricket in Melbourne for Paran, which is Bryce McGain's club, in the 2s and 3s, left-arm bowler. But they've all got special talents, and they're a special family. And Annabelle Sutherland is fast becoming, the most X-factored player in the world, given that she can bowl and bat the way she does.
Yeah, well, James is now the CEO of Golf Australia. But what caught my eye that day was just how good they were at footy.
Yeah.
They were kicking the Sharon in the park there by the ground at Cardiff. I thought, gee, look at these very talented kids. And I thought that's the way they were going to go.
Well, this is the thing with Will Sutherland, right? One of my best mates is the recruiting manager at Footscray. He says that when he was coming through, when they were all very, very keen. This wasn't sort of one of those things where, he plays a bit of footy, he plays a bit of cricket, therefore we're going to talk him up.
Yeah.
This was the other way. So you can kind of see where athletes who are that prodigiously talented in a town like Melbourne, if you're playing both sports and you're doing the winter to summer, you can be such a highly valued commodity at such a young age.
I'm not suggesting that those sports have a peeing competition between each other, but it'd been quite the coup, wouldn't it, for footy to have got James's son there when James
tried.
I think was
and he would have gone top 5 in the draft, if not top 3. And I'm not embellishing that at all.
No.
I saw him play as a young player, and he was a proper centre half forward. The way he leads the cricket team, you can imagine that on the footy field, exactly the same way.
And that was definitely the view of recruiters. A couple who I was at the time who talked about Will, because they knew he played cricket as well, so they were curious about his cricket bona fides when he was in his draft year, and they're like, we would love to be able to recruit him and make him a footballer, but he was too far gone. He was clearly going down the cricket path.
And Annabelle Sutherland, until recently, was coaching the Methodist Ladies College team as well in footy, so she could kick it.
Sharon, too right, she could,
The parallels across the men's and women's game are only getting stronger. We know that Alyssa Healy and Mitchell Stark has won, both playing their 287th international game at the moment, concurrently, which is just a beautiful reflection of their careers and how they've progressed, albeit being very different players. And I only imagine that this is going to get more and more prevalent, that you're going to have families of talented cricketers where the young girl grows up and plays for Australia, the young boy grows up and plays for Australia. It hasn't happened as much in the past because the female game hasn't been as prominent.
There have
a really good point.
Yeah, there's been some families over the years that have had prominent cricketers on both sides of marriages, and you think about, would I be right in saying, Pete, with Terry, is it Terry Alderman's sister, or is it Terry Alderman's wife? Who, either way, there's definitely in the Alderman family, they had a couple of cricketers that came through from via marriage.
Yeah.
But the broader point you're making, Tom, is that cricket for girls growing up now is seen as just a normal thing, and what a great result that is. That's not That's not through chance. That's by choice. That's from administrators over a long period of time, normalising girls' cricket in just the same way that boys' cricket. So when I was a kid growing up, girls' cricket wasn't seen the same way as boys' cricket.
No.
And what a shame that is. But now, my two little girls, they're 2 and 4 respectively, they'll grow up never knowing that when their dad was young, that cricket wasn't a thing for girls in quite the same way. Now it's brilliant.
One thing that catches my eye, and it would never have happened in my time, is a young boys showing up to see the women's cricket and even wearing women's cricket's T-shirts. You know, I come from the dark ages, Tom. You'd be surprised to say. I know I look youthful. You know, girls' game. You know, you wouldn't have a bar of it, but the boys just accept it as natural and have their favourite place. They're in a fantastic place with this. We're not in a fantastic place here. I opened the door to come out on the rooftop. Thank God I've got my Herald certificate, and I did do you remember the Herald?
What's that? Tell me what that is.
Well, it was a Learn to Swim campaign that was in Australia from about 1929 from the Victorian government.
Right.
That encouraged every child in Victoria to learn how to swim 25 yards, I think it was. Right. It was clearly endorsed by the Herald. Yeah. And so every kid prided themselves on getting the Herald certificate. And I remember getting it myself. I was a terrible swimmer. I could barely do 2 strokes, but nothing was going to stop me getting to the other end of that pool. And it is so deep out there now. I was wearing my...
it just reminds me
about my fancy duck feet boots here. They're coming up around our ankles.
My shoes are destroyed.
It actually reminds me of a story I was researching before the Test series when the Boxing Day tsunami hit Gaul and this part of the world in 2004. Not saying that's happening today, obviously, but there was a game of cricket taking place on this oval at the time between Harrow School and a Sri Lankan school. Yeah. And they all walked up on the roof.
They were stranded up on the roof of the stand that time for some time. But that was an awful event, awful period. And they had to rebuild this ground. They've done I don't mean to be too negative. It's a sin to be a little bit negative about this Gaul ground, but the facilities are really ordinary for spectators. I was sitting over there with Luke Sparrow and his mob in that stand that runs at some sort of acute angle obtuse angle almost, away from the...
It reminds me of the old Inverarity stand at
Correct.
Lanka. It was on the wrong angle as it related to the ground. So the one next to the Gaul Cricketers Club here. Yeah. It's like it's meant to be for a rugby pitch adjacent to where we're watching the cricket. Yeah. But it's clearly not. It just is a design flaw. Yeah. I don't know how they've put it on an angle.
And there's no air coming in there, and it's a really rudimentary facility, and they're actually paying a lot of money to sit over there. Not as much money as the people who are in the VVIP lounges below us, who I think are paying just a couple of $100 for lunch in the tour packages.
Is that right?
It's by the and they're not being exploited by the Australian tour packages. Well, I'm going to have to verify that, but this is...
And by contrast, it's $2 to get in over there on the hill.
This is heresy, but Lukey says this is the worst cricket facility in the world. And Lukey would probably have been to almost most cricket grounds.
2 or 3 times.
And it is the most beautiful cricket facility, most beautifully located. It's blessed by its geography, like Dharamsala or Cape Town. In fact, I think it's even better than both of those, where you are and how you are. But why the money's been spent on stadiums elsewhere, up at Palakala and Hambantota and all those places, where they're not actually playing much cricket anymore, it could put a little bit more money back into this place just to make the facilities better. It makes the WACA look like a first-class facility. And the WACA was not good enough for Australian fans.
Well, that's the politics. And Harbantota is a classic case of...
Politics.
There's a reason why there was the investment made there in the middle of the forest on a ground that's completely inaccessible and seldom gets used. I reckon they've played half a dozen internationals there since they popped it up, right? So, whereas here, you're spot on. It's not that it needs a lick of paint, because that implies that there's something wrong with the visage. I mean, you don't want to lose the natural majesty of this place, do you?
Well, it's a given. You can't lose it because you're here. You're in the beauty of this ground, and you're never going to block the fort.
That's right.
No, you don't want to block the fort.
But what you could do, and you wouldn't want to move the Cricketers Club either. It reminds me of the Kingston Cricket Club at Jamaica, where it's at mid-wicket, and it's lively, and it's pretty loose in there after hours, and it's great, and it's fine. But the 2 grandstands at either side, and the temporary stands to our left, which got broken in 2 when we were in a storm here 3 years ago. This is where clear gains can be made here. The only fear I have and I don't want to be too morbid about these things.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get accused of being a bit of a doomsayer about the future of international cricket, but I will say this.
You said this last night. It's interesting.
Look, two-tier Test cricket is an idea which is coming. I don't mean two-division Test cricket. I support two-division Test cricket for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Two-tier Test cricket where there is a group at the top and then there's the rest, and no promotion relegation, because Australia, England and India never want to risk being in Division 2 because it would compromise the financial situation of the game. In that scenario, Sri Lanka may well find themselves in air quotes Tier 2, which is essentially a death sentence as a Test nation. You're not going to sell that product at anywhere near the value that a series like this is being sold at, being Australia or England come here or India or any of that. They won't play those Test matches anymore. And therefore, whisper it, this might be the last time that Australia plays Test cricket in Sri Lanka for a long time. No one wants that. No one who follows Test cricket wants that. But these are the types of conversations that are regrettably being had at the moment about the way in which global cricket might be reorganised at the end of this Future Tours program.
This is why it would be a travesty if that did take place. And there's a reason why Sri Lanka votes with India, because India, last time the two-tier discussion came up, was against it, dead against it. They wanted to control the money and control the game. And this is a way to, I guess, cease some of their control, especially in the second tier. If Sri Lanka votes with India and Sri Lanka ends up playing in the second tier, that's a blow to their national ego, isn't it? They are
it's a Turkey voting for,
you know what I'm saying? Their national identity, largely from a sporting perspective, is based around cricket. And if they're not playing against the big countries and they're playing against the smaller countries, that's no good for the game here either.
No, it would be a shambles. And look, it's no foregone conclusion. I'm basing my hypothesis there on the excellent reporting of Dan Brettig around the meeting that we're expecting in Melbourne around this Women's Ashes Test match that's going to include the heaviest hitters. Now, I hope that the backlash to that reporting a couple of weeks ago will mean that calmer heads prevail, perhaps, and the most extreme edges of that plan are never shown. But you just don't know. I mean, it's a brand new world now when it comes to global cricket administration. Jay Shah has recently taken over. There's been a change in chief executive just this week. Jeff Allardyce, the former Victorian Sheffield Shield batter, has now moved on from his post as the most senior member of the ICC administratively. Who knows who will replace him? But if there's this prevailing view that Test cricket should only be really played by a handful of nations, the fear would be is that Sri Lanka may not be seen as one of them, and therefore this, which has become such a great destination Test match, people come here because they want to visit Sri Lanka, they want to be part of something special here. It's been compared as like the Bali of cricket, right? I don't mind that. I don't mind the idea of the Bali of cricket being Gaul. Well, embrace it while we have it. Embrace it while we have it.
There'll be a couple of thousand Australians who are in town this week to watch the cricket, aren't there? It used to be a horse racing stadium,
It did, yeah.
In the 1870s.
1876, yeah. I think it became a turf pitch, I think, in 1944, 1945 it was.
Yeah, and you say about the school kids, they've been playing competitions here for over 100 years. In fact, one of the longest running cricket competitions in world history was here, and I think it's between All Saints and Richmond College.
We'll be at Richmond College between Test, Pete. You'll be there. I don't know if you factored this in, but there is a media game back.
Roll the arm over, Pete.
So you might be required to bowl some medium pace.
Yeah,
medium fast.
I don't know. I might be watching from the balcony of my villa on the Richmond Hill.
Pete was actually regaling the story before of when he got clocked at 110 kilometres an hour.
Oh, I think it was probably, 80-10.
Can we play some on this day?
We've got time. We've got time. Our player is going to get called off at some point. We should say that the rain stopped being. It's past its biblical worst. But I mean, let's be realistic here. We have more chance of walking on the moon as a 3 than calling any more cricket today.
You tell me it hasn't been. The Australians are doing a press conference as we speak.
No,
Kuhneman's in the room.
Okay.
So I think they may have.
They've made their own mind up.
They've decided.
Well, while you check your phones, I'll just get a few of these away. And this is very important because Cobram Estate is an important partner for us. The good oil for Cobram Estate, Australian extra virgin olive oil. The Type House scoreboard at the moment reads a game that is clearly favouring Australia and quite heavily so. The Aussies 6 declared for 654, and in reply Sri Lanka 5 for 136. 2 wickets to Stark, 2 wickets to Kuhneman, and 1 to Lyon. Todd Murphy has no wicket for 28 from his 6 overs. SEN Test cricket for Henley Homes. New breakthroughs collection homes from $227,900 and start building in 12 weeks. Now, on this day, as we like to do, Pete, I'm not sure if you've played it before.
No, I haven't. I don't like trivia games.
It's not trivia.
I'd have to swim away from here. Oh, it's not trivia.
No, on this day, January 31, we have a whole range of cricketing events and instances across the journey. And what we do, we use it as a way to talk about various topics that we might not otherwise talk about. Colo introduced me to the game. I played it with Bryce and Kat a little bit earlier, and they loved it. They wanted to play more. I said, guys, I'm sorry, we've got to get to an ad break and go to the tea. So I thought we'd bring you in because you are an oracle when it comes to cricket with a memory of what's the old memory of an elephant, not a goldfish.
No, goldfish. No, I'm a goldfish.
He does. Sorry, Pete, but your memory's not crash on.
So, Colo, you can...
No.
Well, Colo, you can replace
Have you said that before?
1999, the first test between Pakistan and India of 9 years ended on this day in Chennai. It was a classic, Colo. Seesaw game. Suckland finished with 10 wickets as Pakistan won by 12 runs. Shahid Afridi belted 141 at the age of 18. What do you remember about this test match?
Well, this is an all-timer, and also it's a really important moment in the diplomatic relations between India and Pakistan. So it was won narrowly by Pakistan by 12 runs on the final day. So they needed to, India needed to make 271, I think it was, victory. They're all out for 258. On the final day, Suckland takes fifer. So, and it ended in a real hurry as well. Sachin makes a fourth innings 136 out of 258. So he nearly kept them in it, but they fell away half century from the wicketkeeper Mongia as well. But the reason why this often gets cited, there was an article written about this test match during the 2023 Men's World Cup after India played Pakistan at Ahmedabad, and I'll word this carefully, the way that day felt at Ahmedabad Stadium, the way that it felt for those who might have been observing it as neutrals and seeing just how parochial and how intense it was, especially if you had been a Pakistani fan who managed to somehow make it into the ground that day, unlikely as it was. And the comparison point was 99, because when India go down in this test match at Chennai, they gave the Pakistan team a standing ovation as they did a lap of honour around the ground.
Really?
Harsha Bhogle narrates it, and it is some of the most poignant, passionate commentary you will ever hear. It's on YouTube, where Harsha narrates this lap of honour of the Pakistanis, and he talks about how essentially, if this can happen on the ground, it can mean anything for our nations. It's very sad, actually, in retrospect, that we know what happens in the deterioration in relations between Pakistan and India, and there's so much that goes to that. I don't want to get too much into it, but that is a moment in time when there was an upswing of sorts after there'd been some discord between the nations in the mid-90s.
Yeah, and the cricket reporters who've been on tour, from either of those countries who've been on tours of various parts, talk about the warmth between the players and between the reporters and just between the general public too. The Indian reporters talk about going to Pakistan for the first time, being welcomed into people's homes.
So it's just the politics then?
It's just the politics, and the politics has reared its ugly head again today, or its unfortunate head, to try and mangle that cliche, with the captain's photo being cancelled ahead of the Champions Trophy.
Because of the shirts, right?
Hey?
Is this to do with India refusing to have the word Pakistan written on their shirt as one of the co-hosts?
And I think India were also reluctant to send their captain over for the photo.
Oh, right. Actually, being in Pakistan clearly is an issue for playing.
Which I understand to a degree. It's a secure. It's just. I think that's more about security than politics.
They can also hide behind security, though, can't they? It's easy for them to say, we're worried about security, we're not going there.
It is easy to say that, but I think that you could argue there's some validity to their concerns about sending an Indian team to Pakistan. The security situation there is not good. I mean, the security situation there is so not good that this Champions Trophy tournament will be played under the same security arrangements that the last Test series between Australia and Pakistan was played under, and we saw how excessive that was, didn't we, Colo? Yeah. We were fortunate, and I think it was down to you that we actually escaped being subject to those sort of same restrictions. And I know the talk among some of the... Can I say this? Yeah, I guess I can.
Play's officially been called off here, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. According to Russell Arnold, who we trust, play's officially been called off.
We do. He's in the TV box, you'll know.
Yeah. Is he doing the weather?
He was yesterday, the leg spinner around the ground.
He's fantastic at the weather, Russell Arnold. I'll never doubt him again. It does go around the ground like that too. Simon Katich says he's building an ark to get us out of the ground, so might have to go and give him a hand soon. What was I saying about the security? Yeah. I think, one of the ways there's new staff around Australian cricket and stuff like that, and one of the things I've been told is, hey, look, It's pretty cool over there. The journos had a ball. They got out and about, and, you know, it's really not that hairy. It's hairier for cricketers, I guess. They're more of a target than, say, I am. You've got a higher profile than me, Colo.
Well, cricketers' house pretty
Not in Pakistan.
Oh, maybe not in Pakistan.
I loved being in Pakistan. I personally felt safe, but that is not the barometer.
Yeah,
that is not the measure. The fact that you and I felt safe over there, Pete,
it's different for cricketers.
It is different for cricketers, and we aren't of the nation that went through what happened in Mumbai in 2008.
No, and that's why I say
careful.
Yeah,
I think we've got to be careful as outsiders. We only get a peripheral insight to all of this. We are not intimately ensconced within it day to day. So I think we can sometimes. I'm guilty of this occasionally. Political situation. No. It's easy to do because of the bubble that we live in. But
can I ask? Yeah. India won't go to Pakistan. We know that. But Pakistan would go to India if India went to Pakistan or not?
Well, they did for the World Cup.
They did for the World Cup. Would
They
Pakistan, if India said, come to us for a test series, would Pakistan go if they knew they were going to get India back the other way?
Not now.
Not now, and that would be political, but...
Well, the new chief executive, the new executive chairman, is Mohsen Naqvi from Pakistan, was fairly strident through these negotiations around the Champions Trophy that if India played this "we're not going to Pakistan" card, he's like, we are never going back to India, which is why we now have a 3-year arrangement where they will have to play all of their games in neutral venues, both men and women. Which, you know, Ravi Shastri made an interesting point on our test coverage when we were. When was it? It would have been probably at Melbourne, I suppose, when he said that, well, look, this is an unusual thing that's happening, right? But zoom out. If we see 3 years of successful neutral venue cricket played between Pakistan and India, a lot of water to go under the bridge, but let's assume a world where 3 years down the track, this has worked well. Okay, well, what about the World Test Championship test matches? They never play against each other.
That's right, that was in Brisbane. I remember that, in a rain delay, as we are now.
Okay, what about World Test Championship test matches that don't get played as Tom takes a photo of us all? I don't know why I'm doing that.
Sorry, because my wife's just saying she's going to bed and she loves the sound of our voices.
I'm sure she does. Hello.
Good night to Sue.
Good night, Sue.
Good night, Sue.
But if those work, then, you know, that dream sequence of India versus Pakistan at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, or at Lords indeed, or somewhere like that, some prestigious venue where they can, that becomes kind of vaguely viable. But I have put that to Harsha, and Harsha laughed at me.
Why?
Because he's like, you're in a dream world. But Harsha thinks that we will not, and he's got a very strong handle on the politics. He thinks that if the cricket brains around the world think this is going to happen, he's like, if we think we're ignoring what's happening at the political tables that really carries the power here. He thinks that it's inconceivable that we'll see Test cricket between India and Pakistan in neutral venues, even if the white ball stuff works. So for what that's worth.
Interesting.
Did Nick Hockley actually make that offer, I think, to Pakistan, didn't he, when we were
Was
there
it after was it during the, I think we were, was it during the India series or the Pakistan series?
And the MCG and the SCG and venues like that would be desperate to have a game like that.
It'd be awesome.
And it would be a fantastic game. But I don't think you're going back to what you asked, Tom, I don't think the security circumstances are evenly reflected on either.
That's what I'm interested in, and it's fascinating to me. It's such a shame as well, because every time they play at a world event, it is a blockbuster moment, far bigger than anything else, isn't it?
Yeah,
in world sport, really.
It is, and it's wonderful, and the feeling in the game is wonderful too.
Yeah. And you're not used to seeing these players play against each other, which is also wonderful. You know, I remember Sachin Tendulkar making 98 at the 2003 World Cup in the same game as Said Anwar made a ton, and the noise through the TV back then, was something else. Like, I can only imagine what it would have been somewhere in South Africa there.
The noise in my cans.
Where do you want to go from here, Colo?
Why don't we go to... Oh, sorry, Pete. You
mentioned Sachin. Has anyone discussed those Sachin-Stephen war? Stephen Smith.
I've got the screenshot
today. Have you got the screenshot right there?
I'm looking at it right... Where is it? Where can I find it? Here. I've got it right here. So should we read them out?
Why don't you read them out?
Okay, so Stephen Smith and Sachin Tendulkar. Tendulkar's made 220 more test runs. Steve Smith's test average is 56.33. Tendulkar, this is at the same time of their test careers, by the way.
Why don't you read Smith's and I'll read Tendulkar's? Go on.
So same time as their test 50s.
Tendulkar, 41.50.
And Smith's high score, 239.
Tendulkar, 248 not.
So, Colo, what does that tell us about how we should be assessing the career of Steve Smith? If anything, do we underrate him?
It's a fair question. I mean, it's a compelling little chart back and forth, isn't it? It reminds me of when Cook and Clark played their 100th test at the same time at Perth in 2013, and their stats were identical as well. And you go, oh, hang on a minute. You kind of get the impression that one player's further ahead than the other in their career. And, you know, with Tendulkar, because we see the overarching number, the 51 test hundreds, we kind of benchmark it by that. And it's the longevity piece as well, playing for nearly quarter of a century. Is Smith going to do that? Almost certainly not. However, what did he say after making that 100 in the Big Bash the other week? I want to be an Olympian.
He said that. 2028.
He wants to be an Olympian.
Yeah, LA.
Now, if he's still rattling off runs at T20 level, I'm going to tip he's still making runs at Test level. One will follow the other. I don't think he'll be a T20 specialist.
And the Olympics is a place where you can give these players a farewell because it's the Olympics. It's not a World Cup. And it's almost like a thank you for being an all-time great.
I don't know. I reckon as we get closer to that, my view is that as we get nearer and nearer 2028, the bigger and bigger that's going to be. You know what it's like, Tom. You're as bad as I am. So are you, Pete. Olympic Games come along. It's the biggest thing going.
Yeah,
for
2 weeks.
You're an Olympic gold medalist forever.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I know they've all achieved an awful lot as international players, but walking away at the end of a career or the middle of a career or start of a career and getting to stand atop the dais and sing Advance Australia Fair. I mean, come on, that's going to be fair dinkum. That's not going to be a farewell tour.
Hey, I reckon batting's harder now. I reckon Smith's record's more impressive. I reckon.
Such an interesting point. Batting is harder now than it was in the 90s and early 2000s.
Well, definitely in India it's harder.
It's harder to bat in India.
You did not get pitches anything like this, like you get now.
Not this
in
pitch.
India as you have during Steve Smith's
But how
career.
many times has Steve Smith played Test cricket in conditions that are totally nightmarish versus how often did Sachin Tendulkar walk out against some of the best fast bowling of all time? And not to mention some of the best slow bowling with Shane Warne.
You don't rate any of the bowlers around at the moment?
No, I do.
The bowling was better in Tendulkar's
I sort
era.
of feel like, relatively speaking, that was a golden era of fast bowling, the 90s.
It was.
I sort of feel like you can pick and choose from either column. I don't like comparing against eras. I'm anti-era comparisons.
What do you reckon Steve Smith averages in India?
55.
Yeah, 50, isn't it?
It's 50 in Asia, isn't it, overall?
Yeah, it's 50. And Sachin at home, 52.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Smith made them in more difficult conditions, but you're saying perhaps against inferior bowling attacks.
I mean,
marginally. Ever heard of Jasper Bumrah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like...
I know. Yeah, it's a fair...
It's difficult.
It's a cheap shot, that one.
Yeah, you can do the same thing with when you're going back and comparing 80 or 90 years ago, right? You can take players' records from there and say, well, that player averaged high 50s.
Yeah.
But, like, take Ken Barrington, for example, a test average of 59, I think I'm right in saying. No one considers him an all-time great because no one thinks that was a great era. Yeah. No one thinks the late 50s into the 60s was a great era. So you get marked down.
That's true.
Or marked up based on the quality that you played with and against.
I was talking to Steve O'Keefe about this before, about that little comparison that we read through.
And what did he think?
And you read it so well. You've got a great future in broadcasting, Tom.
Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, I'm backing you, son.
Son! I love it.
Okay, it's better than Champ, isn't it?
A lot better than Champ, yeah.
And he reminded me of this. Do you remember the statue of Sachin Tendulkar that they've erected at Ahmedabad?
I do, yes.
Now, if you look at that closely, it looks a hell of a lot like Steve Smith.
Oh, right.
It's very interesting. I don't know if we can get a photo of that.
I just love the comparison between Smith
photo for the radio.
Smith and Tendulkar, because Tendulkar was so technically stable, proficient, like it would be in Don Bradman's book that he wrote, How to Bat. Steve Smith's completely different to that. He did it his own way.
And so did Bradman.
Yeah.
True.
Bradman's own technique was notoriously homespun, famously homespun. So it's I suppose, a reinforcement that Test cricket takes all types. I always love the fact that some of the best fast, air quotes, fast bowlers ever have not indeed been fast.
Well,
it's...
Anderson, McGrath...
Well,
even Cordy Walsh.
Richard Hadley, Mark II, who was for so long after the age of 30, he was the greatest of his generation with what he was able to do with the ball. Was probably doing that at somewhere in the vicinity of 120 to 125 kilometres an hour. So, There's subtlety in Test cricket, which you don't necessarily get in other sports, which is part of why it's so charming.
So Tendulkar's got more than one statue. I think I've seen him at other grounds as well. Does Steve deserve a statue? Would they put up a statue of Steve Smith?
Text Basil Sellers.
At the SCG. It'd be the SCG, wouldn't
it? Text him and tell him that we've told him that we should get one at the SCG.
Does it have to be? Do we need to be so parochial? I mean, they do have some great statues at the SCG. There's not a lot of room for them there.
Well, they were very clever with the way they did it at the SCG. I spent 6 months researching this stuff for an essay years ago. I mean,
it's a slow research. There's about 4 statues.
The way they did it was they picked one per era, one per generation. So they didn't want to have too many statues of one particular sport at the SCG precinct. But this particular generation, the most recent Test cricketer to be honoured in that way at the SCG is Steve Waugh. Belinda Clark for the women and Steve Waugh from the men. But no one would count Smith as being part of their generation. So, I mean, I wonder what the Steve Waugh was released in about 2015 or thereabouts, I reckon, Pete.
Yeah.
So, that's about 10 years after his retirement.
Yes.
So, perhaps if Steve Smith retires plus 10 years... What's that Mark Howard quote from Scotty Boland's 6 for 7 days?
Build the man a statue.
Build the man a statue.
Yeah, good quote, isn't it? What a guy Basil Sellers is to fund all of those statues around the SCG. I shouldn't say this because I live in Sydney and I love those statues, and my mate Henry Mulholland actually coordinates them and does a fantastic tour of the statues if you're ever down there. But I do prefer the ones at the MCG because they're more heroic. They're up on the plinths. Yes. They're less egalitarian.
And there's a reason for that. So Rodney Cavalier didn't want them up on the plinths at the SCG.
Hello, Rodney.
Great man. Hello, Rodney.
Lovely.
Because when Rodney was the one who put on, so Steve Waugh, so Rodney, I think Rodney was quite involved in the one they did for Stan McCabe, and they got Steve Waugh to go down there to the Bradman Bowral Museum and handle all of Bradman's old kit. They made him pad up at one stage as well to get the McCabe one ready. I mean, this stuff is gold.
I need to see photos of this.
Yeah, this stuff is gold. The way they went about trying to replicate the pose, but they didn't want the statues to feel inaccessible to the people. They wanted people to go up to the Stan McCabe at the front of the members' pavilion and feel like they can go and touch it and get up near it. You can't touch the ones at the G.
Well, that's very Rodney's old Labor politician, isn't he?
Indeed. He
is.
But the thing at the G is, the one that's missing there's a terrific campaign running on Twitter right now about MCG sculptures. William Morris Laurie. How is there not a sculpture of Bill Laurie at the G?
Yeah.
There is the indoor nets. I think Glenn made that point when we talked about it during a rain delay during the Boarding of Ascot. But a sculpture of Bill Laurie, I think that's a must.
If anyone deserves to be a pigeon roost. I actually consulted on one of the statues. That Kathy Wiseman's done a lot of the statues there at the SCG. She's a great artist and a very generous woman, and has donated to the Chapel Foundation. Hi, Kathy. They were trying to get one up on Phil Hughes.
Right. And what happened?
Could never really decide on a location, and there was a bit of back and forth, and it all got a bit silly behind the scenes. But the studies were done for that statue, and I came in and get a little bit of consulting about what it should be.
What did you think?
What
did you think?
Well, I thought it should have been the cut shot.
Yeah,
but
surely, almost with both or 1 foot off the ground.
Yeah, but the family were insistent that it should be his drive. They were more proud of his drive. But there is no more distinctive Philip Hughes shot than that cut shot. You know, those great photos from that last day he was batting at the SCG. That's the image in your mind. And sometimes when I watch Travis Head play the cut shot, I think there's hints of him in that.
We were actually talking to Bryce McGain about this last night. I was quizzing Bryce, as I often do, because we're in the same villa, and peppering him with questions on cricket, why David Hussey didn't play Test cricket. And one of the reasons, Bryce said, was that, he stayed leg side of the ball at a time when it was unfashionable to do so. But then Phil Hughes comes in and plays that way, and now we see Travis Head playing that way. If David Hussey was a few years younger, he could have easily played Test cricket. I mean, he averaged 50 in first-class cricket, David Hussey, in an era where there was a lot of good batters around. But Phil Hughes, opening the batting, and we said this a couple of days ago. He would have played 100 Test matches. He was a 100-maker. They said that in the boy from Marricksville, didn't they?
Yeah, Maxville.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm the boy from Marricksville.
Oh, sorry. I get confused with you and Phil Hughes in sporting pursuits.
Cricket can get really hung up on orthodoxy, can't it? And sort of shoot itself in the feet on that sort of stuff, I reckon. But and then you have the disruptive influences or the disruptors who play the game differently, like a Steve Smith or like a Philip Hughes. And you start to go, well, maybe that classical way of batting isn't the be-all and end-all. And we're almost seeing that influence now. We're seeing a lot of that in the game now, in the way batters take on the game, where once it would have been frowned upon and tutted, and I think that they would have been judged more harshly for
getting out that way.
Yeah, and being more creative in their stroke play.
Well, in the same way as what Adam Collins was talking about before, how young girls, your girls are growing up now, they don't know any different that there's female cricket, and it's very much mainstream, as it should be. Young boys are growing up like Sam Constas, not understanding that there hasn't always been T20 cricket. There hasn't always been batters lap sweeping and reverse slapping quick bowlers. That's just, they've always watched the game and that's always been a shot. Whereas I remember when it was a massive thing that Ryan Campbell would scoop the ball. Yeah. That was huge back then because no one else would do it.
He practically invented it. Not quite, but he basically, in terms of he brought it to mass popularisation in that, as you say, that one-day series where he was playing it for Australia. I sometimes now feel for players who are the other way. So there's an opener who played...
The classicists.
There's an opener who played for England, Dom Sibley, a few years ago. I watch him week in, week out for Surrey, and I feel for Dom because he is a more conventional... He's not pretty, but boy, that man can occupy the crease for a day and a half. He churns out the runs.
Chandra Singh is the same in Victoria. He's played a few games with Shield, but he bats slowly and it's not fashionable.
Yeah, and what Dom Sibley's done is he's spent a lot of work on his range hitting. He's actually playing in the Bangladesh Premier League right now.
Oh, really?
Because he's decided that he needs to reinvent himself.
How old is Dom Sibley these days?
27.
So he's got time.
He's got time, but the wider point here is that if you're seen as being a little bit too straighty 180, good luck cutting through.
Yeah, that's why Matt Renshaw has done so well becoming the BBL player he's become, because he was very straighty 180 early in his first-class career, would have mass runs, but fairly one-paced. Can we just play another one of these?
Oh, I had one more here. And we can probably wrap it up after this. So this is going back to 1976, where...
Pete was a young man.
Where he might have been at the Test, Melbourne, 1976, where Australia hosted the West Indies, February 96. That ring a bell to you?
Yeah.
So Redpath made 100. Then the Windies responded, got bowled out cheaply. Second dig, McCosker got 109 not out. So this is the year before the centenary Test. So a lot of those names jump off the page.
No, I wasn't at that one. I had been to Test matches before that, but I wasn't at that one.
Was the captain. Well, it was, on this day that in 1976 in this Test match where Lance Gibbs, the electrified tarantula, became the most productive Test cricketer ever as a bowler. He took his 307th Test wicket, where he broke Truman's 307. So Truman was the first to 300 back in 1964 at the Oval when he nicked off Neil Hawke. That great piece of TV commentary from Brian Johnson. And then, held the world record at 307, and that was duly broken by Lance Gibbs, who had it broken, therefore, down the track by your hero, DK Lilly. So
the great man.
The chronology of those that have broken that record. But, Gibbs on this day in 1976.
I've lured Dennis out of Perth, and he's coming to Sydney in April.
Is he?
And he's going to appear at the Chapel Foundation dinner where we raise money for homeless youth. And I'm so goddamned excited. I went ruffling around in the bottom drawer of my cupboard, and I found the Dennis Lilly T-shirt I used to wear when I was 7 years old. It's got a few stains on it. It's a bit like Gideon's Cricket Head Old T-shirt, which has got curry stains on it after an incident in a restaurant the other night. God, I adored Dennis Lilly. He made me love the game. And
that's the biggest compliment you can give a cricketer. He or she made me love the game.
Yeah, and just made me want to be a fast bowler, want to watch cricket. And, he was a rock star. And I remember lying on my stomach at 26 Clark Street, Kennington, watching him play and writing a letter to him, asking for his autograph and addressing it to the whacker and taking it down to the corner shop where there was a post box and putting it in the mail. And not that long after, I received a letter back, and it was a sort of black felt pen addressed to Peter Lawler, 26 Clark Street, Kennington, 3550. On the back, Dennis Lilly, whacker, and I've opened it up. It says, "Dear Peter, thank you for your letter. I am only too happy to provide you with my autograph. Please keep up your interests in cricket as it has many rewards in life. Yours sincerely, Dennis Lilly." And then, on the bottom half of the page, the big DK, you know, which was almost like he's set up and bowled. His name was almost a sort of a simulacrum of his bowl.
That's
his autograph was a simulacrum of the way he bowled. And I had that old, I think it was the Jeff Pollitt book, which broke down his bowling action frame by frame and just modelled myself on Dennis Lilly. I just would do it over and over.
And how did you go
replicating
replicating the Dennis Lilly bowling action? What was the most important part of it?
Hey?
What was the most important part of replicating
It's the setup.
Yeah.
It's the
Looking through
fingers
the
up,
window.
looking through the window. Yeah. So,
But his action changed, didn't it, after he hurt his back?
Yeah. Yeah, it did, and this was before he hurt
This is
his
tearaway.
back. That was the most awful year of my life when Dennis Lilly was out of cricket. Yeah,
It's brilliant when athletes meet expectations on that front.
Yeah.
And I think they do well, and I think this group are actually very good at it, for what it's worth. This group of, this generation of Australian cricketers are very, very good at understanding this is important, but knowing that the interactions they have with young people can shape them for life.
Yeah, they get it.
Whether it should be that way or shouldn't be that way, it does end up being that way. I mean, I've got a beautiful story for when I was 7 that relates to Jason Dunstall, right? Now, he could have disappointed me. He could have, I did a similar thing. I sent him the footy record marked in after his 17-5 at VFL Park against Richmond. And I wrote him a letter, and he wrote me back this beautiful handwritten cursive letter and had signed the record in the middle, right? That has clearly played a big role in who I am as an adult 30-something years later, right? Like, players and athletes have a responsibility on that front. I'm very pleased to hear that at a young age that Dennis Lilly exceeded expectations for you, Pete.
And continues to exceed expectations by agreeing to come across in April to do this dinner. So if anyone's in Sydney, you'll have to look up the date. I can't remember right now. Memory like a goldfish, you'll learn this time. Look on the Chapel Foundation website. It's one of the great nights. Starts with sunset drinks on the turf at the SCG. And then we head upstairs and let's have a little chat with Dennis. It's a fantastic night.
What's the date?
Food by Maryvale. Sometime in... I'll get the date if you give me a second.
Yeah, why don't you do a little plug?
Yeah.
And why don't you
this is a big plug.
No worries. There's so many threads we could have taken that. I just love it. Sitting with Pete and Adam Collins is just a joy in itself. And I've always said I wanted to tour with Pete, and here we are. It's an absolute privilege to be alongside both of you fine gentlemen. The score here, and the day has been wrapped up. It's day 3 at Gaul. And stumps have been called because it was raining very hard. It's now stopped raining and actually quite sunny. But the entire ground is covered with the overnight covers, meaning that the tyres keeping them on, and we won't have any more play today. That's official. So 5 for 136 Sri Lanka. They trail by 518 runs. SEN Test cricket for Henley Holmes. Peter Lawler, have you got the date
I
of it?
have. Has everybody got their pen and mark this date on the calendar? April 30 at the SCG in the Noble Dining Room. The platinum tables sold out overnight, instantly, like that. 10 tables at... we've got some gold tables left. We've got some silver tables left. Hopefully SEN will take a table. You're listening, Hutchie? Buy a table. If you want to come up for a sing, I reckon I could swing you a ticket.
I'll buy a ticket.
$350 for a single ticket. We are an extraordinary charity. Over 98% of the money we raise goes directly to the source, to homeless youth.
Amazing.
We don't have any costs. We don't have any employees. We don't have an office. We don't have a telephone. Our legal stuff, our accounting stuff, everything is done pro bono. We're totally voluntary.
Back and pulling is Mooney. Through backward square leg. Might have hit a seagull there. Takes off into flight.
They're not frightened, are they? They don't move. Must be really off-putting as a fielder. Genuinely, because you can't really attack the ball. I'm surprised no one's been deposited on yet as well.
Mooney's high score there, Ben.
Yeah, moves to 86. Thank you, Rick. Eccleston gives it some flight to Gardner. Plays a full ball off the back foot. Punches it out to backward point, end of the over. 4 for 391. The Aussies, a lead of 2-2-1. Yeah, I can only imagine that the ball would be maybe trickling over a little bit of that. Just put that up on the big screen. Beth Mooney's highest test score. I'm sure she would dearly love a test century. Showing highlights on our monitors of our very own Sarah Elliott. Playing in a test match against England. Where would that have been, Alex?
Where? I wasn't watching the monitor, sorry. So
I think it was the venue that Henry was speaking about. Wormsley. I was going to go with Wormsley,
beautiful venue.
Just didn't quite have the confidence.
Beautiful venue, privately owned, stunning. In the countryside.
One of my great regrets in life was that I didn't go over and spend a 6-month period, the Aussie winter, playing cricket over in Chelmsford.
Yep, should have done. Great place.
Filer bowling around the wicket here to Mooney. Off the thigh pad. Maybe a little bit of bat involved as well. Balloons down towards fine leg, just leg buys. So the lead is Richie Beno, 2-2-2. 4 for 392. Was that sarcasm or?
No.
Great spot?
Yeah, great spot, yeah. I'm guessing you were thinking of going, you know, when you're a bit younger, so belting night out.
Not that old.
Well, no, I know you're not.
Yeah, it was when I was 18, 19.
Yeah,
you've been great fun.
There.
Over the wicket again, Filer. Slip in place, bowling to Gardner, flashing, playing a miss. We're going to cut. That ball just jumped a little bit. Through to the keeper it goes.
Ben, Australia haven't had 2 century makers in the one innings this millennium.
Wow. When was the last time then, Rick?
And 1998 at Worcester. And also Guildford in the same year. Worcester was the last of those.
Who were the players involved? Filer arrives, bowls to Gardner. It balloons back to the bowler, dropped. Lunging one-handed effort from Filer. And it skimmed the nails and went down.
Another one goes down. That one a tough chance. Heather Knight saying, good effort, Phil. And it was just a leading edge from Ash Gardner, looking to knock the ball into the leg side. It's just out of the fingertips. Just out of reach of Lauren Filer in a follow-through.
Belinda Clark and Karen Rolton.
Of course. Would it be anybody else?
I interviewed Karen Rolton earlier. Would have been good fodder. Wasn't tonight. Filer passes the umpire to Gardner. Squared up slightly. Ball goes out towards cover. I asked Rick earlier what his favourite type of maths is. Hartley, what's yours?
Favourite type of maths?
Yeah.
Mental arithmetic.
Like algebra, calculus?
I've not done maths since I left school. I'm so confused why you're laughing at each other.
Filer bowling here to Gardner, playing a miss, trying to force off the back foot. Rick was a maths teacher for many years, and he received a text message from one of his students listening in the UK.
Oh, really? That's wholesome.
The daughter was playing with Rihanna McDonald-Gay at Hayes.
Yes, yeah. Small world.
6 degrees and all of the rest of it. Filer bowls. Gardner struck on the pad, low down. Big appeal for leg before. Will they send it upstairs?
Well, Filer didn't even appeal for this one. It was more the slips that went up. Filer instantly says that ball's going down the leg side. And I'm pretty sure that it was a good over from Lauren Filer. A few questions asked of Ash Gardner. Maybe Lauren Filer might just bring a bit of energy to this England innings.
At the end of the over, 4 for 392. Gardner dropped in that over. Tough chance for Filer on her follow through. Balloon back, high above her, trying to reach back. I think that was the toughest of the chances today that we've graded against this England team. Good evening, team. As you ponder the reasons why the Aussies dominate and have such depth, One major reason, I believe, would be the induction of Have a Go Junior Cricket, sponsored by Chocolate Milk Additive. I was involved when it began in the 90s, and weeknight activity changed children's participation rates and also encouraged girls to join, and the mums and dads would get involved too. That was a generation ago, and now the benefits are being enjoyed. Pardon the pun. That's from Greg. Slipping a bat pad around the bat. Eccleston with a cable knit sweater on. Beth Mooney on strike. Eccleston bowls. Gives it some air on the leg stump. Mooney off her pad. It's not a bad shout from Greg. I don't mind that.
Yeah, the younger you can get people involved, the better.
Eccleston tries again. Forward goes Mooney, and it squirts out through square leg. Just for one.
Now, this is what I want to see. Sophie Eccleston to Ash Gardner. You sort of feel like something will happen here. It's got to that passage of play where I just feel like something might happen.
What's the plan? Slow and wide, maybe outside off stump?
Yeah, I think just entice Ash Gardner to drive the ball to one of those extra covers that are in catching.
A left arm orthodox around the wicket. Quicker delivery. Just chopping down on it. Ladies Gardner, they get through for one. Underarm from square leg. Went a bit quicker and flatter there, Eccleston. Wouldn't mind the slower loopier, quite wide outside off stump approach to Ash Gardner. I think that could work. Four for 394, the Aussies. A lead of 2-2-4. Eccleston gives it some air and Mooney drives. On drive all the way along the carpet, just for one more. Gets off the very nervous 87. Devils number avoided.
87. I thought it was 13.
Well, 87's 13 from 100. Australia are very superstitious about 87. Eccleston bowls, Gardner down the track. Hammers it. One bounce to the fielder at mid-on. Did you not know that was a superstitious number in Australia?
No.
Rick, can you please back me up on this one?
It has been known to been said, yes. Yeah.
No, in England.
But it's not based on fact at all. In fact,
no. Superstition.
In terms of numbers getting out at 87.
Eccleston tries again. Gardner stands tall to defend. In what way do you mean that, Rick? So there's not a high percentage of dismissals on 87 as opposed to other numbers?
Last time I checked, it was actually lower than the numbers around it.
That is the end of the over. Alex Hartley's had enough. She's out. So am I. Double change coming in. Michelle Gosco, Henry Moran.
Australia versus England in the Women's Ashes on ABC Radio,
ABC Sport Digital Radio,
the ABC Listen app, BBC 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds.
I'm broke but I'm happy, I'm poor but I'm kind, I'm short but I'm healthy, yeah. I'm high but I'm grounded, I'm sane but I'm over.
Right, I have some attendance figures for you, which is rather exciting because we've got a record. Here we go. The attendance today, 11,918, so up on yesterday. Here comes Lauren Filer, chasing a couple of seagulls out of the way. Both of those were planning on approaching with some medium pace from around the wicket by the looks of it.
Still can't catch those either.
Oh, good luck catching a gull. In comes the delivery from Filer, high up on the bat of Mooney, who drops into the offside, no run. So, across the 2 days, total crowd, 23,561. It's a world record attendance for any women's test match.
Oh, that's amazing.
Surpassing 23,207 at Trent Bridge in 23.
There we go.
It's a good news.
It's been well supported, actually, around the country, this Ashes series.
Still 2 days to go.
Well, yeah. Weekend days as well in the sunshine. Mooney's on 88. Filer is beginning this approach with the elbows out wide, and she's in, bowls, and Mooney wants a single. She'll get it as well. Brilliant running from Beth Mooney again. She got back quickly, actually, relatively. 89 from 137. Andrew messages. Rick, what's the highest successful fourth innings run chase in a women's test? Something tells me it's going to be fewer than 226, which is Australia's lead at the moment.
Didn't think there'd be any declaration here tonight, Henry, either.
No, it's going to keep on batting. Gardner waits and plays that late over the fielder. That solitary fielder at slip and down to the boundary for 4 runs. Easy enough, out towards a Shane Warne stand. With that brings up 400 for Australia. 400 for the loss of just 4 wickets. The lead 230, and the Gulls all rise as one in acknowledgement of that. And it's 3,000 runs for Australia in that stroke for Gardner as well. So lovely moment. For some reason, the Gulls have all taken off from our left, and they've just flown over the square, and now they've just dropped down to our right. What's going on?
Well, the ball went down there. I guess you're trying to evade that.
Yeah.
So they go the other side, but interesting.
Well, Gardner's quite dangerous through mid-wicket, so they might be wanting to take some evasive action. Here comes Filer. Running in, still that one slip waiting. And this is banged in short, nicely played. Again, late down towards deep third, fielded in the distance. Gardner moves to 42.
Wouldn't mean too many grounds where there's seagulls on the grounds in England, Henry?
Oh, you do at Hove?
Yes.
You get
I have played
lots
at Hove, actually.
And actually, the local football team there, Brighton and Hove Albion, they are known as the Seagulls.
That is very true. Absolutely.
Here is Filer, round the wicket to bowl to Beth Mooney on 88. And Mooney plays the ball round the corner, and Amy Jones has dived to her right, and for a moment Filer thinks taking a catch, but I think it's dropped just short. So it wasn't far away, but it wasn't quite the wicket.
That high successful chase is 198. Australia for the loss of 3 wickets at Bankstown in 2010-11. Test matches.
Okay.
Here we go.
Have been higher 4th innings totals, but they either ended in draws or losses.
She did take that cleanly, Amy Jones. This is played through the offside. That's a good stop. It really is. Regina McDonald-Gay diving to her right at point. I'll be interested to see a replay of what that came off from Mooney as it went down the leg side towards Jones, but she took it cleanly. End of the over. By the way, on the SMS, you can join the conversation with us here on ABC and BBC commentary. There's a lot of love for you, Gozzy. We've got Kirsten Pike, there's a name we might know, from Brisbane. Loving the commentary. Nothing better than hearing Gozzy on the radio. I'm Sienna from Victoria, and Michelle Goscoe is the best commentator ever. I'm Maddie from the Sunshine Coast. Michelle Goscoe is the best commentator. Love you guys. Shout out to the Dunnekins at home. Tanya from Brisbane at the MCG tonight. Loving the commentary from Michelle. And Elise from Brisbane at the MCG. We're Project Inspire, says Michelle Goscoe, the best commentator. There you go.
Yeah, I might have had a bit of a visit down in the room downstairs. So Project Inspire, that is fantastic, actually, that group of young women down there with the great Belinda Clark, who's been leading that as well. So,
I mean, the repetition it's almost as though one message was written, and there's a sort of symmetry to the messaging, Gozzy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought there were sort of ways of filtering out these things on social media.
I'll have to talk to them.
Sentiments I agree with, though, Gozzy. Helped round the corner by Beth Mooney, who's going to get a run to move to 91. Eccleston has bowled 36.1 overs, 1 for 125 so far.
It's been tough going for her, hasn't it, Sophie Eccleston?
Late call us a league bye on that one, Henry.
Was it? Right out. So she remains on 90, thank you. The lead 2-3-3. Something made me laugh a minute ago. It said, if England lose this inside of 4 days, I'll be able to catch a flight home. Only they'd fail to catch it.
Oh, dearie me. Oh.
Don't. You can't laugh. 2 short covers in place as Gardner plays towards both of those fielders, and Nat Silverbrunt crouches down to pick up.
Oh, it's funny. It's been a kind of Katy Perry day, actually, for England. It's a bit hot and cold with in the field, mainly cold here, but yeah, it's been dreadful at times.
Gardner coming forward. It comes off the outer half of the bat and drops into the offside. Some stats on dropped catches. which is an interesting one, actually, because we were wondering the question as to, obviously England have dropped some absolute horrors, but Australia haven't been perfect, and actually pretty far from perfect, actually. Here is Eccleston, a quicker ball, which Gardner's onto and slices out towards deep cover point, and actually Dunkley is slow to that, and they get through for 2, and that is, again, it's slack from England. That shouldn't have been 2.
Yeah, not good enough. Needs to be better. I know it's late in the day, but you're playing test match cricket at the iconic MCG. Can't wait to hear this stat, Henry.
Well,
I'm very excited about this.
Building up the tension. I might wait till the end of the over, as it's defended by Gardner into the offside. Eccleston continuing to wheel those arms around, looking to try and create an opportunity. She doesn't seem to have got the turn that we saw from Alana King yesterday. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, nowhere near it.
Eccleston again. Final ball of her 37th over. She's in, a quicker ball. Oh, it's been spooned in the air. Who wants it? Underneath it. Catch is taken. Would you believe it? Running in, it's Filer. And, oh, she so nearly puts it down. Looking at the replay, goodness me. She clutches those boots that have been causing her problems, but England do have a wicket. And Gardner goes for 44. Running in from square leg. Lauren Filer, not with the safe hands, with the hands, and just about hangs on.
Oh, wow. Well, Ash Gardner tried to turn that behind square leg. Got a thickish outside edge, and you're right there, it ballooned up in the air, and Lauren Filer came in, almost overcooked it. Got the hands up. She actually got her hands underneath, with her pinkies underneath the ball, and then luckily enough for her, well, you know, she doesn't mind falling on her backside. That's exactly what she did, trying to catch that ball as well. So, yeah, late in the day they get one. So Sophie Eccleston was absolutely exhausted, couldn't even celebrate that wicket. So, yeah, they get another one finally here, England.
Well, they do, and it's taken a while. And here comes Talia McGrath, ahead of the Hydra. You know, one goes and another one springs up. Oh dear, Talia McGrath, who for most sides have been their top 3. It's a horrible sort of shoveling shot that came off a leading edge into the air, and she so nearly dropped that.
Oh my word! It was almost like an ice cream cone. We've seen a few of those here today at the MCG, but that was exactly what that was. You know, the old cricket trophies, you get a fifer and you get a trophy and the ball's sitting up the top. That's exactly what that catch was.
I mean, she got the body behind it, so in that sense, offered a little bit of protection. If she'd dropped it initially, she might have had another go at it. She's got the ball in hand now.
405 is the highest score at which Australia's ever lost its 5th wicket.
Wow. It's paused. The stats will have changed marginally in terms of catch efficiency, but not by much. Across this series, then, Australia have taken 37 catches, but dropped 18, so a 67% catch efficiency. England, 30 catches now, 17 drops. This is outside the off stump, and chasing it is Mooney. It goes through to Amy Jones on the bounce. So England's catch efficiency is around about 64, 65. So actually not far apart. But what is an important detail in all of this is in terms of the measurement. A dropped catch will only count if an attempt is made to take a catch. So any time a fielder has poorly judged a ball and it's not necessarily even been attempted, that won't count against them. So those ones that drop between fielders or fielders in the wrong position. Here is Filer, and dropped into the onside for one more for Mooney, who's on to 91. Not a second run there. Australia's lead now up to 236. And so the other point as well is you might have an Elise Perry diving to her right on the boundary and not quite hanging on for a catch chance that is technically put down, but is something that an England fielder wouldn't get close to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. For me, that doesn't sit right. For what I've seen throughout this series, I've seen every ball live bar the one in Belrive. So for me, I was a little bit surprised by that.
Well, as Murray from Geelong says, Gozzy, I've heard a joke. What's the difference between Cinderella and England team? At least Cinderella got to the ball. Here comes Lauren Filer into bowl 2. McGrath driving crisply towards cover, and a tumbling save from Nat Sivabrunt.
That's very good.
Good joke.
Very, very good.
Well done, Murray.
Well done, Murray. That is That is very good. I only came up with was Phil Tufnell was the fielding coach of England. That was all I had.
Michael Vaughan, whose fielding credentials were limited, I think it's fair to say, suggested on social media earlier that he might launch a fielding academy for the England team. In comes Filer, slip waiting. It's a short ball, and ducking out of the way is McGrath, and Filer does her best impersonation of the heavy roller as she goes tumbling down the track again.
It's only going to help the batters, so she needs to try and stay on her feet. I can't believe that stat, actually. And I think you made a very good point about actually getting to the balls. There's been numerous occasions where the ball's fallen into no person's land here for England. And the Australians have got a hand on it. So, it's very stark difference with the drops.
Yeah, and I think it's quite hard to... The quality or lack of quality of a drop is quite a subjective thing, isn't it? Fuller delivery, which is driven through the offside, beats the diver fielder. It might even have been half stopped by Gull there. Every little helps from an England point of view. 2 runs are taken. McGrath up and running. The lead, 238.
Yeah, S. Gull.
Yeah, England's...
+2 in the field, save 2.
Sort of day where you never know who's going to be put up for interview. I wouldn't be surprised if it is S. Thoughts on the day's play?
Yeah, it's been a tough old day, hasn't it? Really, it's been trying to drive home the advantage here for the Aussies.
Again, a forceful drive from McGrath, who has come out with intent here. I wonder if a message has been put out there.
Yeah, I was just thinking, okay, well, Talia McGrath at the end of the over, 5 for 408, that maybe Talia McGrath might, get herself in. Then we might see someone else come out in the middle and protect her wicket, but she's come out with full intent.
Well, Elise Perry is carded to come next, but she is wearing a woolly jumper and hasn't got her pads on, or in fact, she hasn't even got her whites on. She's, I think it's fair to say, not anticipating going out to bat if a wicket falls. A message from Andy Zaltzman, who's just texted me. He's our resident Test match special statistician. He says, hashtag never trust a catching stat.
No, I'm with him.
He's very much the view that you can't measure these things particularly accurately. Here is Eccleston from the far end, worked into the onside behind square. Dunkley will field. Mooney moves on to 92 from 143 balls. It's 5 for 409, or for our English listeners, 409 for 5. Australia lead by 239.
It doesn't sound any better either way, does it? Really, for England. But you're right about stats. It doesn't tell you the full story. So a lot of people who would coach and watch the games understand that, gee, a tough one-handed chance goes down on the boundary, and there's a caught and bowled that's just been dollied back to the bowler and it's put down. There's a big stark difference with that.
Here is Eccleston, and that's a good ball, beating the bat of McGrath, who comes lunging forward, the Australia vice-captain.
What do you think they'll do, Henry? Like, there'll obviously be a really big review into English cricket.
What do I think they'll do? That is a very interesting question. Here is Eccleston, and that's a crunching drive through the offside, and will bring 4 runs. She's been threatening to do that, Talia McGrath, and finally pierces the gap. It was over-pitched, and it sent Maya Bouchier flying, and out to the ropes it goes. Lovely shot. Australia moved to a lead of 243. I think the one thing I hope doesn't happen is that because the team aren't actually playing together again until the English summer, I hope we don't get to a point of, well, we'll reconvene, we'll come up with lots of plans, and then they quite comfortably beat West Indies at home and everything's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an option after this, actually. I think it's been too bad and too grisly, and they need to remember how bad it's been. McGrath is defending into the onside.
Yeah, I mean, I know Australia didn't win the last World Cup, neither did England, but Australia are probably, for me, the best team in the world.
No doubt. Here's Eccleston, quicker ball, which beats the edge of McGrath's bat. 1 ball left of the over. What would you do if you were in charge of the England side?
Well, they need some fielding practice, that's for sure. Maybe a change of the coaching structure. Don't know, not necessarily think Heather Knight needs to go. I think she's done a pretty good job under trying circumstances.
Eccleston is in, and it's a defensive push into the offside from McGrath. So, end of the over. I'll leave you with those thoughts. It's not exactly a simple brief, has to be said. 117 overs have been bowled in this innings. Australia 5 down, 413 on the board. The lead 2-4-3. Michelle Gosgo. You'll be joined in a moment to see us through to the close by Matt Clinch.
This is ABC Sports coverage of women's international cricket. Australia versus England in the Women's Ashes.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, take F-T-C-T.
Thank you, Henry. As the day is, or the night is coming to an end, Lana King is just stretching on the boundary, hoping she isn't required as Lauren Filer starts a new over. Beth Mooney pushes it out down to deep third and through for a single to move to 93. A possibility for a bit of history here for Beth Mooney before the day is out with 9 minutes to go. She has scored centuries in T20 internationals where she's been a dominant force, one-day internationals, but has not scored a century in Test cricket.
It's spot on. It looks like she means business. It'd be nice to get that off, ticked under and done before the end of the day's play. You'd hate to be going sort of 98 not out, wouldn't you? You wouldn't be sleeping too well.
But also you don't want to play a rash shot. Australia lead by 244 runs, so they are in as good a position as what you could be. Filer comes in around the wicket and an inside edge from Talia McGrath into her pad. And it trickles back down the pitch. Australia 5 for 414. Ash Gardner, the last wicket, out for 44.
I like this move, coming around the wicket to the right hand. It hasn't been enough change, has it? Like bowling back of the front crease, bowling wide of the crease, bowling around the wicket. You know, there's employed a couple of
short bowling.
Yeah, it hasn't been any of that. It's just been, okay, well, the ball's not doing much. We just need to do stump to stump. That hasn't worked. You need to try different things to get rid of these Australian batters.
And the nature of Test cricket, more questions are asked than what you have in the shorter formats. Filer back of a length and McGrath up on her toes trying to play it out. Just backward a point where Maya Bouchier does the fielding. McGrath is 6 from 10 deliveries. At one stage, she would have thought she could be captaining this Australian side in the Test match if Elisa Healy wasn't right to take her spot. She was named on the team sheet at number 8. She's been elevated up to number 7 with Elise Perry not batting, but given the fact that in the last Test match between Australia and South Africa in early 2024, she came in at number 4. So hasn't really done a lot wrong. Filer around the wicket, an inside edge from Talia McGrath, which just rolls out backward of square, and Tammy Beaumont with the helmet on does the fielding. Square on the onside.
That's a long tail there for England, isn't it, compared to Australia? Just trying to work out, my maths isn't great, unlike Rick here. I'm just trying to work out who the 8th batter was for England.
He's got it on his
Eccleston, I think
scorecard
it
there
was.
for you.
So, here we go. Eccleston or Talia McGrath, which one's the better batter?
Well, Sophie Eccleston has been disappointing with the bat so far this series as Filer comes in once more and McGrath can't quite get the timing as she plays it straight down to Danny Wyatt-Hodge. In fact, that's Lauren Bell who's got the sweater on. Most of the England players have the sweater on by this stage of the night and the seagulls floating around them.
Yeah, a lot of seagulls around. See Heather Knight trying to get herself warm as well. Arms flailing about.
Could the captain come in and bowl an over or two to close out the day?
Try something different.
As they often say, sometimes not the best bowlers get wickets at this stage of a match. Filer with a short ball once more, which Talia McGrath ducks underneath. The end of the over, Australia 5 for 414. Just the 1 run coming from that over. Talia McGrath on 6, Beth Mooney on 93. Matt Clinch alongside Michelle Gosgo with you through ABC Sport and the BBC as we close in on stumps on day 2 for this historic day-night Test match at the MCG.
Yeah, it's a good point you bring up. They've only employed the 5 bowlers here, England, for all day. So Lauren Bell, 25 overs. Lauren Filer has completed her 21st. Matt Siverbrunt, 15 overs. Eccleston, 38 overs. Rihanna McDonald-Gay, 19. So I haven't really tried anything different apart from those 5 bowlers all day.
When Eccleston finishes this over, this will be the most he's ever bowled in one innings. She's already conceded more runs than previously in any innings.
It's a heavy workload she's been asked to do. As Sophie Eccleston starts a new over from the Shane stand end. Mooney pulls it down to Whitish backward square and turns and comes back for 2. And she moves to 95. The crowd is sensing a piece of history here with 5 minutes on the clock.
I'll tell you what, the seagulls are flying around as well. That'll make it a bit more difficult to actually pick the ball up for the fielders.
Eccleston at the top of her mark, slip still in place. And she comes into Beth Mooney, who's forward and defending into the offside. On the SMS, 0467920222. Hi team, enjoying the coverage of the Ashes, loving the commentary from Alex and Henry. All the teams sitting here nervously to hear if my cousin, Beth Mooney, can raise her to Bhutan. That's from Brett in Ballarat. We are sitting on the edge of our seat as well. Brett, as Beth Mooney comes forward and gets it past Tammy Beaumont. It's short leg and through for a single to move to 96. 5 for 417.
Oh, she's only a boundary away. Brett, hopefully you're enjoying our commentary as well here.
Yes.
In the box, but how exciting. Beth Mooney, I mean, she is an absolute weapon. Shows how to score a run or two, and yeah, she can see some history here at the MCG. What a player she is.
3 runs off this over so far. Around the wicket goes Sophie Eccleston to Talia McGrath, who just defends into the onside.
Do you know what? She's the type of player as well. She wouldn't care if she picked it up as a boundary or 4 ones. She wouldn't care.
No.
Or a couple of 2s. It's probably more so her career, isn't it? Picking up those 1s into 2s.
Eccleston into Talia McGrath. Gets an inside edge and it just trickles out onto the onside backward a square, and Amy Jones races out to do the fielding. Such a determined and spirited competitor who spent the majority of her career in Queensland and played in Perth in the Women's Big Bash. Behind Elisa Healy with the gloves. Next delivery from Eccleston, wide of the off stump, and Talia McGrath lets it go through. The end of the over, Australia 5 for 417. The crowd knowing that gets Beth Mooney back on strike. And Australia's lead is 247.
Yeah, very big cheer there for Talia McGrath, leaving that one wide of the off stump. It does get Beth Mooney on strike. So what a day it has been here and night at the MCG. It's the only part of her career that hasn't been ticked to that box of a test match century. Hopefully she can do it here in this over.
And Heather Knight was warming up with the intention of coming on and having a bowl. So what will we see from her, do you think, here, Michelle Gosgo?
Well, I can tell you now, she might drop it short because there's 2 fielders out on the boundary, just in case she does. But, I mean, Beth Mooney's looking here. She'll be knowing where the gaps are. She can get back for a couple and then try and get this ton done here before the close of play.
Heather Knight just adjusting her field. So she has a deep cover, deep backward square leg, deep mid-wicket. Mid-on and mid-off are sort of 3/4 of the way to the boundary. And a in-close mid-wicket for Beth Mooney as Heather Knight comes in. She plays off the back foot out to that fielder at deep cover to move to 97. 5 for 418. She might have to do it in singles as just gets a little nervous getting closer to the triple figures.
Yeah, well, Talia McGrath, you just need to knock it on the leg side and get through for a 1 here, get Beth Mooney back on strike. Beth Mooney's not that type of player anyway. She wouldn't care. She'd be just looking at the team total and trying to make sure she's not out.
No player has been 98 or 99 not out in women's tests.
Oh,
overnight.
wow.
Oh, no, don't say that, Rick. Heather Knight comes in with her offies as she bowls to Talia McGrath. She works it around the corner. She thinks about a second and then puts the hand up and says, no, 1 will do, as it's fielded at Whitish fine leg. And Beth Mooney is back on strike. McGrath to 7, 5 for 419.
Oh. Still a lot of people around here at the MCG watching that. Here we go.
Knight around the wicket into Beth Mooney, who's back and cutting out to the fielder at deep cover to move to 98.
Right.
2 singles so far in this over from the English captain. Australia are 5 for 420. The milestone looms just agonisingly closer.
Tali McGrath, same again. Nudge it on the leg side.
Slip still in place as Knight wide of the off stump. McGrath hits it in the air, just wide of the fielder. That deep extra cover, and they'll turn and come back for 2. And the crowd is anticipating every moment of this. They're engaged. And then the throw from the deep lands right into Heather Knight. Now, Maya Bouchier puts her hand up to apologise, but you can probably hear there in our effects, Mike, Beth Mooney asking if she's okay, given that it's got her right on the knee. And that's not where you want after having spent the whole day in the field.
Not that I have leg muscles, but in between the knee and the quadricep, there's that little gap in there. That's exactly where it's hit. It's already been enough pain for Heather Knight. Now she's got physical pain.
Now, Beth Mooney would have been well within her rights to just put up the hand and say, no, no more. She's on the non-striker's end on 98, and a full delivery from Heather Knight is clipped away and straight to the fielder at mid-wicket. 5 for 422. Now, the clock is on 10 p.m. So this is going to be our last over. She's going to be on 98. Unless something happens dramatically here. Knight comes in, full delivery to Tali McGrath. She digs it out and plays it down to mid-off. And that's the end of another dominant day from an Australian point of things. Australia 5 for 422. And yet a wry smile from the English players with Beth Mooney on 98 not out. And denied the chance to bring up her first Test century here at the MCG.
It's a new marker.
It is.
98, no one's ever been 98, not out before in women's Test.
Tali McGrath is on 9. Australia lead by 252 runs, having started the day at 1 for 56. An incredible day in which saw Annabelle Sutherland score back-to-back Test centuries, having scored 200 back in early stages of start of 2024 against South Africa. She scored 163 today from 258 deliveries before she was eventually bowled by Rana McDonald-Gay. Phoebe Litcher was out first for 45. Alyssa Healy out for 34, and Ash Gardner, the last to fall, out for 44. So Australia at stumps.